Help, help, help. Help. I'm under attack. Help. I'm under attack by a doggone rabid animal. Help, help, help. Lord, he's attacking me. Ah, help. Welcome to Mudding with BEAGS. Muddy and BEAGS. It's something like that. Daggone. There's a daggone muddin and there's a BEAGS. And this is the muddin and I'm just the BEAGS. Welcome, y'all. We was running late today. Well, somebody had to do their hair. Somebody had to do their hair that said they were running late. Actually, what had happened, y'all, was that every single person that I dealt with today was moving the pace of a fucking snail. No, it's completely out of my control. Example, I go to the gas station and I go in to pay for the gas, and there's this gas station, it has two doors, one on one side of the building, one on the other side of the building. I walk up to the door, go around the other door. So I had to walk all the way around the other building, the side of the building, walk in there and pay for gas. And then and as I walked in there was a guy in front of me. And this guy, he did something stupid. You know how stupid people do stupid stuff, and he wouldn't get out of the way. And so he couldn't figure out how to pay for his whatever the hell he was paying for. Anyways, he finally figured it out. And the guy says, "Okay, what can I do for you?" And I literally step up to the plate, and the guy says, "Oh no, wait, hold on, I got to go do something." And he walks away and leaves for 5 minutes. I'm like, "What son of a mother son?" I'm like, anyways. So everybody I dealt with today was on somebody else's time. I don't know what was going on. Anyways, I'm here. Sorry, starting late. I pressure washed 2 buildings today, so it's been a long day, and I hadn't eaten anything all day, so I had to eat before I started. And I went to the grocery store, and I had to put all the groceries. So basically, I've had my head up my ass, but now I got my head out of my ass, and I'm ready to do this. So, how you doing, y'all? Okay. So, I'll tell you what. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. Enough with the mumble jumble, and we will be back in just a moment. Oh, all right. Okay. The StreamYard has changed this. They've taken all the free stuff that made StreamYard great and taken it away. So now all you have is basic functionality on StreamYard, and I'm not used to it yet. So bear with me. I'm having to play my videos and things a different way, which is really freaking annoying. So StreamYard, go fuck yourself. Anyway, excuse my French. Hey Streets, how's it going, Caleb? And let's see, Daniel Becker's, have I lost weight? Yeah, I've lost weight. I gained a lot of weight. I was several years back, I was really sick, and then I got better. But when I got better, I had not been eating very well for several years, and so that when I got better, I gained a lot of weight really quick, and so I blew up like a balloon, which now is starting to come down. But I'm also I'm 6'4" and 250 plus pounds, and I'm a big boy, so I'll always be big. I'm just a big structure. It is what it is. Not big bone, that's a myth, but I'm just a big son bitch. Okay, anyways, we're going to get on into it. I know I'm late tonight. Like I said, everybody was running on
little old lady time today or something. I don't know. Everybody I dealt with, the guy at the grocery store must have been new. He'd bag the groceries and then he would put too much in the bag each time, and they go, oh no, and he'd take them, half of them back out and then rebag. I'm like, dude, just throw them in the bag. Let's go. Move along, son. Move along. Double bag it or something. Let's go. But everything was like that. Okay.
Get on, Biggs.
Okay. All right. Let's get on into it, y'all. And I got to figure out how to do this. And I'm going to share the screen. So bear with the old bees. And that should get it. So let's make sure we're going here. And we'll give that a second. Hope you're all doing well. Hello, Kathy Broughton. How you doing? And I see a new name here. PJCCGEIRE. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. That probably says something I can't pronounce. Anyways, welcome. And I see Dismiss was here, and Hippie is taking a night off, and we will see her next week. So I talked to her earlier. Okay, so let me change this to. Everybody was voting, and they liked the let's see, is it showing? It's not showing. All right, hold on. I don't know why it's not showing. Hold on. Let me try again. I don't know why it's not working. Oh, bear with me. Stop screen share. Screen share. I don't know why it didn't work. Dumbass, I guess. Let's see. Bear with me, folks. StreamYard has gotten stupid on me. Okay, I don't know what it's doing. Okay, there we go. Let me check this thing, and then that should put me in the bottom of the record. Sorry, guys. StreamYard has really screwed their program up. It's not me. It's they want you. They gave you all this stuff, great stuff, these great tools for free, and now they want you to pay for it. And they can go, take a big old cup of go fuck themselves. Excuse my French. A canal on Belle Island, Detroit. So let's get on into it. And remember, these are all very high resolution TIFF images taken from glass plate negatives from the Detroit Publishing Company. All the pictures are from 1890 through 1901. I believe some of these pictures are from later, and they are digital scans. So a lot of people were asking, well, how do you know they're real? How do you know they're not AI? Well, right now, only thing I do know is that they are from the Library of Congress. They are glass plate negatives. And if you do not believe that they are real, you can go to the Library of Congress and you can request to see the glass plate negatives and look at the physical copy of it. Now, I think there's a charge for it, and you will physically have to go there. You can also order prints, but if you don't believe these things are real, you can go check it for yourself. So there you go. Okay, what are you saying here? Erie is the real Gaelic. Hold on, my glasses are not doing good here. Gaelic name of Ireland. Okay. This is my first time attending live, but watching. Cool. Interesting. Okay, we got this bridge here. Looks like a iron bridge. That is amazing. Check out this old fellow here. He is just chilling. Got a lady in uniform here. Got another lady in uniform down here. Got a little boat out and date here. That is a really nice bridge. I really dig that. That reminds me of the Taurus field around Earth. Check out that star. Interesting. I don't think it's I don't think this one's vanilla skied. Doesn't look like it. These are cute little fellas here. Got their little tiny sailboat. All right, zip it up, Beagle. Ain't got time for it today. A residence on Sherwood Ave, Sherbrooke Ave, Montreal. Got a stone ball finial here, sitting in the yard just randomly. Go play somewhere, Mr. Beagle. Go find your toys. One of 1,000 of them that are a trip hazard. It's interesting how every time I see a lawn that has the dirt packed up against the house, I want to dig under it. That's a big red flag to me. Got a nice mansard roof. Ether finials and ether fencing. This would be drawing in the etheric energy from the atmosphere, and I believe that they had free energy in the past. And got a little fleur-de-lis looking thing going there. Kind of a fish scaly Phoenician looking roof there. Got a flat earth asterisk right there. I believe the flat earth asterisk is the symbol. There's another one. Symbol for the flat earth. I believe it represents that. That's just my opinion. Opinions are like tail holes. Y'all have got a bunch of opinions. But this one's my opinion. So it's there's a scrubbed cartouche right there. Beagle, if you don't quit licking my foot, you and me gonna go rounds. I'm just telling you right now, I ain't got time for Beagle action. I'm in the middle of important business. Got another scrubbed cartouche there. Got a little star there. I'm just looking at these urns here. They're interesting. That's a big old front door. Beautiful stained glass. I've often wondered if this type of wrought iron chair is old world. And benches, like the park benches you see. Just a thought. That's something weird back here. Beagle, I know I've been busy all day, but you and me is not got time to be messing around and playing Beagle games. This is not Beagle game. Go find a toy and play with it. Play with this one. There's a good toy right there. You can go play with that one. I am sorry, folks. Sometimes the Beagle does whatever the Beagle wants to do. Beagle's been I've been out all day, so he's now when I just get in, which I just got in, he gets absolutely berserker bear. We got of course that's probably a cuss word for reasons other than that. Alexandria Bay from Imperial Island, Thousand Islands. Interesting. And we got a bunch of old world structures back there. Got some etheric antennas up there. Not sure what this little thing is. Excuse me. It's been a long day, y'all. Power wash 2 buildings up on a freaking ladder, 2 stories up in the air, balancing like a ballerina. Got etheric finials up here, ether antennas, and they throw flags on them. Got portholes here, big arches. Got sails boat. More portholes here. I like this kind of roof here. That fancy design work in the roofing. A lot of times stuff like this would be removed when they redo the roofs because they were hard to fix, and they would leak. They would had a lot of problem with them leaking, so they would just remove them when they would change these out. So I found that a lot, which sucks because now when you go back and look at them, they're not the same. But yep, symmetrical resonance energy. Yep, correct. Yep, their symmetry was bar none. And I think that, speaking of symmetry, I think that some of these structures had parts of the structures removed to take away the symmetry, to just throw us off. Because some of these structures look like, here's a great example. I know you've seen this before. There's a certain kind of church where you've got, you know, the like the A-framed roof, and then you've got the square turret tower on one side. But knowing good and well, it should have a second turret, a second tower. But it's like it's almost like there was supposed to be a second tower, or they removed the second tower, or something like that. But it's like it should have it, or like it was found in the middle of them building, or something like that. But that always stands out to me when you see that, and it's always a cookie. They almost look the same. I would love I'd love to see a count of those type of churches, because there's got to be, I don't know, hundreds of thousands. I don't know. Got a coin here with a Q, and got little ether antenna there and there. Ether antennas everywhere. Like what? Why all these flagpoles? Seriously? I mean, just don't make no sense. Big old church steeple back there. Got some interesting stonework here. Little mansard roof. This would be a wind catcher here. Wind catcher was a way for them to bring air into the structure, and then it would flow through the building through channels that were in the walls. And the old fireplaces, which weren't fireplaces, were used as part of that system. And then it would have an output. So, you know, this right here could be the output. Usually the taller tower is the giveaway as the input. And got some other finials here. And this looks like maybe I don't know what you call it, but it's like a reminds me, I could be wrong, I'm talking out the back end here, but it could be where they bring the carriages in and dismount, you know, from the carriages, so they don't have to come in when it's raining and be out in the elements. I've seen that a lot on these houses. Got a ladder lean for Douglas, UAP shout out. Got a 2 etheric antennas right there. This would be the wind catcher up here. And got portholes right here, which are also part of the wind catcher. And this is ether finials with ether fencing and an ether antenna. And I believe that is all. There's more ether antennas. I believe that is all having to do with etheric energy. These windows could be part of the wind catcher as well, but it's hard to tell being this far back. Got some interesting stonework here. And if you were coming from a meltologist standpoint, you would swear up and down these were red bricks that had ballooned into popcorn. But that is bullshit, horseshit, otherwise known as a fraud. So if you'd like to know anything about that, just search Meltology, and it won't take you long to figure that out if you're not a dumbass. And then we have basically a castle down here. I don't know. That's really odd. I have no idea what that is. Maybe a boathouse. That's weird. That's probably a boathouse. Maybe, you know, it might be a rowing boathouse. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one. Got an etheric antenna up there. Got a big old another steeple here. Got an added cross there. If you see a cross on a church back then, no, it was not there. That was added. Got a couple little dudes in a rowboat. And what we got here? Avery Beach Hotel, South Haven, Michigan. And we got just a beautiful sidewalk. Absolutely perfect. That is construction at its finest. Definitely the best construction I've seen all day. That's a pretty cool fence, though. I mean, you know, structurally crappy, but it's got utility. Got some mud flood windows underneath the porch, because that's where I like my mud flood windows. I like them right under the porch. And I like how they've blocked off these stairs. So either A, they're still under construction, or B, there's something wrong with them and they're fixing them. This is something else weird here. Look how the brick is clean here, and it's completely muddy here and here and here and here and here. That's kind of weird, right? It could be nothing. Could be a clue. I don't know. You decide. Then we got, oh, this is pretty. I like how they did that. That's pretty neat. And got a little little castle-like turret there. That would be the wind catcher right there. The houses had wind catchers. The buildings had wind catchers. Wind catchers were the in fashion. That was how they moved air through these buildings. And I believe they had a more temperate climate back then. Got a big etheric antenna up here. Very interesting. Not sure what that is supposed to be. Kind of weird. Looks like the dude sitting on the end of a thing there. I don't know. That's kind of weird looking. And I love the little stair step they got here so they can get up here and raise the flag. Now, that is genius. That's sheer genius. That would be something we did. No doubt. No doubt. But we got a lot of, dirt lying around here, which is weird. Got more, we got something right here. Kind of hard to tell what that is. Could be an antenna. Could just be a stick. We got Baltimore from Federal Hill. And there's something weird here if you hadn't noticed already. And that would be that they have painted out this smokestack here. Clearly painted it out. No doubt. So that is a photo manipulated image. And they did a lot of this. I have showed many photos being manipulated on this channel. Many. And we got some arch windows, got some fine detail there. Let's see. Got some lumber, got some big arch windows here. John B. Flusky. Blacksmith. Got big old arch windows here. Got a big sail boat here. That's a wild looking chimney right there. Look at that thing with an etheric antenna on top. Almost looks like it's got windows in it. Okay, so that's a bit odd. I don't think that's a chimney. I don't know what the hell that is. That's odd. I might have to look into that. I don't know. You might know what that is. Cough it up if you do. I know some of y'all know some things. Big old church steeple back here, which would be also a wind catcher. They had the bells in there, which they took out, and then but you get that's the wind catcher too. That the higher up the air, in the higher up, the better the etheric energy. The more energy it was easier to collect up. The higher up you got, and then the air would be easier to catch up there. So the higher up the better. And there's another high one right there, big old tower. See, there's one of those churches with one tower there. It looks like it should have two. It's not a very good image of it, but you get the point. Well, I mean, why do we need? I mean, look at this. Okay, we got how many? In one shot, we got 1, 2. Well, the map might be on one. Let's count that as one. Let's be fair. 2, that's definitely one. I don't think that's a church. 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, 8. There's another one right there. You got eight big ass churches in one photograph in one downtown area. Like, how much religion are y'all needing? Like, is it that you can't fit the religious people? Like, how many people are going to church? Like, is there that much need, and there's that much money to build all these big ass churches? I don't know, something just that the narrative. It's funny. You start looking at these narratives and you start seeing the same patterns over and over again. You have the young architect. You have the architect who dies before the project is completed. You have the architectural contest, and they won it. You just seen the same. You have an architect that's done 50 of the greatest buildings you've ever seen in your whole life, and they were 23 years old or some shit. I mean, it's like over and over and over again, the narrative. It's not one building that you look at. That's the key here. You got to look at 1,000 buildings, and at some point you'll pull your head out of your ass, because you'll see the same thing over and over again. And we all know that there are no coincidences. So if you see the same coincidence, little coinky dinks here and there, over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, this town burned down, that town burned down, this city burned down, that city burned down. This building's, there was 5 different courthouses on the same property. All of them look incredible, but there's only pictures of one. Or it's the same horseshit narrative over and over and over and over. At some point, any human being that is conscious will go, wait a minute, something ain't right. That dog ain't hunting no more. At some point. That's what happened to me. I mean, I'm the way I figured came into this. I ran into there's an etheric antenna right there. I ran into steam chimney there. I ran into jet fuel hoax, and if you haven't gone down that rabbit hole, I highly suggest it. That and I don't care what anybody says about jet fuel hoax. I'm on board with jet fuel hoax. Go research jet fuel hoax, and don't come out until you figured it out, because that dog don't hunt big time. Okay, so I'm researching that, and I run across flat Earth, and of course I'd heard flat Earth many times, but for some reason, because I was going into the jet fuel hoax, and because of the people that were talking about it, it struck me as maybe I need to look a little bit further. So I started looking around for jet fuel hoax. Excuse me, flat Earth. And one of the first things I found was a video by Flat Earth British Sub. And this guy he still does it. He makes these slideshow videos with music, and he shows old world images with no context. And so I got some of these videos, and I started watching them, and I'm like, okay, so something's going on here. I don't understand. I know they're showing me something, but I can't really get it. We got a balloon rock here. This is in Bartlett Boulder, Upper Bartlett White Mountains, and this little girl has found her a balloon rock. And if you believe that one, I've got some land in Alaska I'll sell you that is ice free. So basically, this little girl, she is, I don't know, just as cute as a button. And no, we don't have time for beagle action. This is important business. We're doing MUDDIN and BEAGS live, jackass. Zip it. Go play with your toys, honey. So anyways, I just thought this picture was cool. And it's not a balloon rock, by the way. I just like to kick Meltologist in the nuts every now and then. It's a lot of fun. So anyways, then because I didn't understand, this is Bathers at Cottage City, Martha's Vineyard. And I love how they wear these full suits. So this dude is chilling. Absolutely chilling. So I because it said Flat Earth British Sub, right? I searched to go find out more, to find out what the hell's this guy talking about. I searched Flat Earth British. I didn't see the sub part. I didn't catch that. So I went to Martin's channel, and I started watching Martin's videos. And that's when I started understanding, what's going on with Flat Earth. But more importantly, that's where I heard the term Mudflood for the first time. And then I'm like, Mudflood? What the hell's he talking about? I thought he was, a nutter. And so I started looking up Mudflood, and that's when it clicked, because I realized that these images that I'm looking at from my construction background, I'm looking at them, I'm going, those windows are not right. There's no way you would put windows and doors below ground. That's one step away from retarded. And so got ether antennas up here, and we've had a roof patch there. They've been doing some patching on this roof. Got another etheric antenna there and there. And so that's how I came across the Mudflood. Got etheric antennas there and there, arc light there, got old pier. Everybody's just getting up and down. Got a lifeboat in case anybody drowns, and then take them all day to get it down, and they'll probably be underwater by the time they get there. And these people just wear full clothing to go, swimming. Basically, they're going to drown because they've got so many clothes on. I don't understand the whole thing about this. I don't know. Anyways, and we got Battery in Old Castle Garden, New York. And this is, I believe, down Lower Manhattan back in the day. I don't know if it's still there or not. I don't think it is, but maybe it is. Anyways, we got some aquarium here, because, in the 1890s, we needed an aquarium. I mean, that's important, Of course, we've got to have bars because everybody's going to steal the fishies. Or got arc light. Don't have time for the squealiness now. Well, no squealiness. Go play with your toys. And I may give you a treat. May. Don't get your hopes up, though. Big old mouth hound. And look at this, how they've made this outcrop door to get rid of the big giant door. And yes, giants roam the earth. I believe we intermingled with them, and we were all hanging out together. I believe there was some sort of falling out, and we decided to get rid of them. I'm not sure why, but I got these skylights up here. These are just anomalies in the glass plate negative. Got these big sailboats back here. Big old structure here. I don't know what that is. Look at that big old thing. Got Mudflood windows out there. Almost looks like it's surrounded by a star fort, but I don't know. Is that Ellis Island? Somebody. Kathy, you're a retired aircraft mechanic. Interesting. I know a guy that he is a Chinook helicopter mechanic. What a thing. Look at these antennas right here. Got antennas on top. That is a massive building out there in the water. Is that Ellis Island, y'all? I can't remember. My brain's half fried today anyway, so we'll give me a break today. And that's a pretty sail ship right there. Big old sailboat. Look at him. Lots of tall ships in these pictures I'm going to be showing you. Look at that. All those sailboats back there. CRR or New Jersey, I guess. There's the ferries. This must be the New Jersey side, I'm guessing. It's like a wind catcher up there. Steam plant smokestack probably. Look at all these sailboats. Crazy. Must have been a hell of a time. Look at these etheric antennas right here, portholes for wind catcher. And wind catcher didn't always have a tower. Sometimes it was just portholes, and they would let the air in. It was just a way to get the air moving through the building, because you had to have fresh air in buildings. You don't want to be if you've ever been in a building with no air, it's really annoying. It's really hard to be comfortable. Beagle is really aggravated with me. Got a wind catcher here. Portholes there. What? I'm busy, honey. Got time for Beagle action. Look at these big old arches right here. There's another wind catcher. And the wind catchers had, other features. They could have had bells up in here and stuff like that, but they let the air in. This was how they got the air down into the buildings. This was their ancient air conditioning, but it wasn't HVAC like we have today. It didn't cool the air. Although, let me tell you, they could cool the air. What they would do is they would send the air, they would collect the air would come into the top of the tower here, and it would go down, and they would take it down into the ground, into a pool of water underneath the ground, into cold water, and it would come back up. And when it came back up, it was chilled. So they could be used for air conditioner, but that was a little bit more high tech, and it was, of course, you're talking more money and all that. So most times they didn't have that. But this beagle's about to get him an ass whooping. You want an ass whooping? Huh? You want an ass whooping? I'll give you an ass whooping. Come here. Come on, I'll give you that ass whooping you asking for. Come on. Come on, put your dukes up. Come on. Come on. Come on. Put them up. Put them up. I ain't got time for it. Big old nut. My dog is a nut. Sorry, y'all. Got Bergen Tunnel, New Jersey, and this is the Detroit Publishing Company. This is their train. Would you chill out, please? We're trying to do business here with mudding and showing pictures. It ain't time for beagle action. I know you ain't had no playtime all day with me, but you just going to chill. So you got Detroit. This will be, they got their little logo here. Quit. That hut. And these could be the guys that were the Detroit Publishing Company guys. This might be the main guy right here, but I'm not sure either this guy or this guy, but I think it might be this guy. These old lights right here. But anyways, the point is this was their own private train, and they rode this sucker around the United States, and they had a dark room in this. And so what they would, if you know anything about glass plate negatives use the collodion process, and basically it's a chemical process where they would take a piece of glass and they would pour the chemical on the glass, and they would move it around, and it would adhere to the glass, and then they would run it out to the camera. And they had these big cameras, these massive cameras, and that's how they got such high resolution. And the bigger the camera, the better the resolution. And then they would pull the shutter off, and they would let it sit for so many seconds, and they would shut it back, and then they would run back to this train, and they would finish off the chemical process on the glass, and it would develop the picture, and then it would dry, and then you would have a glass plate negative. But this is the train that they took around the United States when they did this. And we got a Delaware. This is a train line, I guess, up here. That's what they're saying. Look at that keystone right there. It's kind of cool. Anyways, I'm just rambling. I would love to have one of them railroad ties right there. I used to have a railroad tie. I don't know how I got it or where it went. But I wish I had one. Somebody tried to give me an I-beam the other day, but I don't want an I-beam. I want a railroad tie. I don't know. You can just do things with it. I don't know. Beat things on it. Use it like an anvil. Okay, this scaffolding is just super sketch. I mean, what in the world? I just don't think I want to climb on that. But that's me, whatever. Everybody's got their preferences. Got a stoneball finial up here. They were quite popular. Got an ether finial up there. No, we don't have time for it. Big old mouth hound. Got an ether finial there. Another one right here. What? This beagle is just about to lose his damn mind. And we got Birmingham from across. Hey, zip it. Got Birmingham from across the Chinago. Hope I said that right. What? What? I don't have time. I don't know what he wants. He's pissed off at me because I walked right in and didn't play with him. This kid is just going to get himself on camera. Look, there's your cousin right there on the camera, right there on the picture. And there's Boss Man right there. I love the as above, so below right there. And we got some Mudflood windows for you and big old arch doorways. This would be the wind catcher, and this would be the output right here. There's always an input and always an output. You got the ether finial up here, ether antenna, ether finial there, ether antenna, another ether finial there. Nice stonework. Got some Mudflood windows down here. It's like a Mudflood door would be there. Look how tall that door is. Got arch windows. Ooh, and an awning. I love a good awning. Who doesn't love an awning? I mean, seriously. I mean, geez. Awnings are the best. I mean, you're going to build a beautiful building. You got to put awning on it. Oh, they got awnings on this. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. Well, if they had had them down, it would have looked better. That's my opinion. Ether antenna, and Barlow Rogers Company. Okay, got your old bridge here with stone foundations there, and look at these windows down here, kind of below the ground level. Kind of weird. Arched windows up there. Yeah, that might about be it for that one. Let's see what else we got. Got a blockhouse, Fort Mackinac Island, Michigan. Probably butchered that. That's okay. I am no wordsmith. That's okay. I'm also tired. That's okay too. My eyes are seeing crossed. I've been spraying bleach at buildings all day. I smell like bleach. I can still smell the bleach, and I've already had a shower. I need to take another shower, I guess. I don't know how. It's like it's permeated my skin or something. Ugh. Anyways. Oh, this is interesting. Back, somebody in my family a long, long time ago, their job was what they were stationed at a blockhouse. I don't know how I know that, but anyways, that's a little tidbit of boredom. Check out this old chimney here. That looks like something we built right there. And these blockhouses supposedly were defenses against the Indians. I don't know. But it's weird that it's got, underground quarters for a defensive position. I mean, all the bad guys would have to do is, of course I shouldn't say bad guys, and because that would then assume that I'm talking about the Indians, which aren't the bad guys, they're really the good guys. And then basically that sounds fucked up. So let's not say that, because the Indians were cool. And they were, also a lot of them black. So look into that. What are you doing? What'd you do? Lose your toy under something? I'm not going digging for no toys right now. You go and figure it out. Anyways, if I was going to attack this blockhouse, which is a defensive position, hey, GT, next time you come, make sure you bring your damn wrench. Why you don't bring your damn wrench? Good Lord. I would just set this on fire right here and then burn them out. But that's just me. There's Bossa Man just doing whatever Bossa Man does. And we got boat ascending Plain Wharfs in the Essex Canal, Boonton, New Jersey. And no, I don't know why you didn't have a wrench. I just noticed it last week after the show. Why is that fool not bringing his wrench? Anyways, you're wrenched up, boy. Got this is boat ascending Plain Wharfs and Essex Canal, Boonton, in New Jersey, which I probably already said. I'm so tired. I just said it again, but that's okay. And this is interesting. You can see where they've etched the glass plate negative. So you see there's image here and then not here, but it's that straight line there. That's a telltale sign that they etched this, which is where they would take a little metal piece and they would scratch off the negative, whatever they didn't want to show you, which, could mean this is a vanilla skyed image, but I'm not really seeing proof of that. And I would say probably no, because I can still see these power lines right here. So I would say they were just trying to do what is called masking. When they take away portions and kind of square it off, that's called masking. And anyways, we got this big old, this would be for the canals. I believe the canals and railroads were old world, and the canals and railroads ran together in a lot of places, and they worked in unison. And look at the stonework here. Oh, have y'all seen in Peru where they've dug down and underneath the big, the big fancy stones, the big old geopolymer looking stones that are really crazy, that they've dug down, and they've found that they go down in the ground, they go deeper is the point. So that was something I saw this week. I thought was really pretty interesting. And there's Fred back there, in case you're unaware and uninformed, that Fred is the horse that built America. And we are on Donkey Watch. So if anybody sees a donkey and doesn't feel like paying a fee for it, you will get donkeys here for free if we find them. But so far we ain't found one. We're looking, but we ain't found them, because Fred is the horse that built America. Fred brought all this here and put it all up. That's Fred moved it all around. Got coal and wood coming out from Fred. And got etheric antenna right there, another etheric antenna with a wind catcher, and they probably had a bell on there. Looks like it might still be there, hard to tell. Cannot read that sign. Got arches back here. That's interesting. That's a weird door. Could be like a hay door or something. What else we got? We got this stonework here. And no, that is not balloon rocks. And okay, this is a great example. Let's put on our Meltology cap. Okay. I know everybody's like, oh God, no, not the Meltology. No, let's do it. Because I know I've seen y'all hanging out in these Meltology live streams. So don't even deny it. I've seen you. I know who you are. It's okay. It's okay. Everybody trips into a live stream every now and then. But we got arches here. But here's what a meltologist would say. They would say that the X Factor event, it was so hot and it cooked the circuit board, and the heat rose up through these bricks, because this was a brick wall, and it turned these bricks into balloon rocks. And these balloon rocks stayed level and true. And then they got here, and right in a perfect pattern along, here, and with the arch, and then perfectly level, and with an arch, and then perfectly level, and then with an arch, and then down, and with an arch, and then perfectly level, and then an arch, and then perfectly level, and then straight up. This did not get X Factor. This did not melt. But no, this down here, this is definitely melted. Okay. So I'm calling horse shit. I'm calling retard, and we're not going to believe that here. I mean, y'all can believe that, but I'm not believing that. That's just me personally. I ain't a dumbass. And this is the same location, and you got the boat coming down here. He's done made it down. Got to wait for it to lock in. Give it a second, and it will come on. There we go. And this little fella just rode down this bit here, which is kind of cool. That's some cool tech right there. Just ride your boat down a hill. And of course, we can do a nice phone pole. We can do straight ass buildings, but we cannot make a phone pole. We can't do it. At the pinion up here and here and here. We cannot make phone poles in a straight line. It's just impossible. And I like how they got all these broken windows and broken out Mudflood windows, and everything's beat up. Yep. And we got Boonton, New Jersey. And got some railroad action here. And got some nice stonework here. Look at that. I mean, seriously. I mean, this isn't as nice as Machu Picchu, but I mean, that's nice. It's well done. It you know, this right here's got, you know, the mortar between it, and then this is just dry stacked, it looks like, which is impressive. I guess they had to mortar it here because of the water, maybe, or maybe it's a strength thing. I don't know. We'll have to get Maggot back. Maggot, where you at? And I think it's very possible that we built the. Hey, none of that. Here. Look, I tell you what. Hold on, y'all. Look, do you want to play with this tennis ball that I found? I found this yesterday. I don't know where the hell you got it from, but I found it. You hid it somewhere, and I found it. Now go play with it. Okay, I think we built these train bridges here. This kind right here. I think we might have built these. I think they're complicated, but they're also simple. They're quick. They're quick to erect. There's nothing spectacular about them, but I think that the stonework was already here. Just a thought. I could be, you know, barking up the wrong tree, but just a thought. A wind catcher up there. Got an obelisk over here in case you need an obelisk, and that would bring in etheric energy. I believe the obelisk were like the big antennas. Like they were the ones that were like, it was like, what do I want to call it? It's kind of like in like a Wi-Fi antenna where you got your main antennas. What do they call that? It's almost like a wireless bridge, if you know what that is. I'm talking computer weenie here, but it reminds me of a wireless bridge that it would jump from antenna to antenna, obelisk to obelisk to obelisk. Maybe it ran on the ley lines, and then they would maybe get the energy off these from there. I'm not sure, but I believe they were antennas. Is my thinking, and I believe there was a lot more obelisk than we know about too. I think they got rid of a lot of them. That's just my thought. Got a wind catcher up here, porthole, and I hope you all are having a good time. And this is something interesting. This is it's for a roundhouse. It's a turnaround for a train. And these are genius. And you see these, every roundhouse had one of these. And they're actually quite genius. Look at the structure of these things. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And they had this track going around, okay? And stupid thing. They had this track going around. And then they would pull the train, the engine, okay? That was what they would work on. They would pull the engine onto this and stop it in the middle, perfectly in the middle. They had a way of getting it, precise in the middle. And then a couple guys could turn the entire engine around with this lever right here. And you could just get a couple guys and move an entire engine with that one lever and turn it around. And then they would back it into the roundhouse and they would work on it. And for every 24 hours that the old coal steam engines ran, they had to spend 24 hours in the roundhouse being serviced, being cleaned out and repaired. And that was if they didn't have any major damage. But every 24 hours they ran, they had to spend 24 hours in the roundhouse. That's why there were so many roundhouses. And if you look at every major town and city, they all had roundhouses. They were they were essential. And so you'll see these old turnarounds still to this day, because honestly they're kind of hard to get rid of. That's not an easy thing to rid yourself of right there. So a lot of times they're still there, and of course a lot of times people keep them there because of sentimental historical value, which they are, but it's interesting. And we got Bowling Green offices in New York. And hello, Machine Head 69. And we'll go find. Okay, it's got some cobblestone brick road down here. Got something moving so fast right here it didn't get on camera. You can see where there was something, rocks or something down here, and then they scratched it out or painted out right here, which is they're probably just trying to change the lettering of it or something, of what they wrote on here or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but no biggie. And there's Fred, and he is, somebody said Frederica recently. I thought that was funny. Hello, haha. What's going on? And he's looks like he's hauling rocks here. Got your little street vendors down there. There's Horse Poo Man. They're the guys the street sweepers. They would clean up the horse poo. Got some kind of wild looking thing here. Looks like a dragon, maybe. Kind of hard to see it, but I think that might be a dragon. And check out these horse shit stairs right here. These are something we made. That don't even make sense. Look, the doors close on the stairs. I mean, what in the hell are you smoking to make some stairs like that? I mean, you got to be smoking good stuff. Now, that's pavement light right there. And pavement light was glass sidewalk being installed. I believe they dug these out and created what's called areaways under here, and then took out the old windows and doors and brought them up higher and used them, and then covered them over with the pavement lights so they could use the basements. But then they realized it was a bad idea because there was no light in these times, no electricity in the early days. And they, it just was like, you're down there in the hot and the heat and you don't have any light. It's just stupid. I don't know. Just bad idea. They're nice awning there, a beautiful awning. Got a neat little pediment with what looks like a fake dinosaur. Oh my god. Oh my god. I was talking to somebody this week, and they're kind of in that, that stage where you're not awake, but you're being like triggered by all these stuff that's trying to awaken you. Well, I know somebody that's going through that right now, and they're getting hit left and right with awakening, and it's just beating their ass. And of course, you know what that's like. But he watched something, and he's like, "I want to send this video to you," and I'm like, "Okay." And what's it about? And he starts telling me about it, and I'm like, "Oh god!" And like, it's like something that he saw on TikTok, and I'm like, "Oh, good lord, no!" I'm like, "Dude, stay away from TikTok." And he starts telling me about this video, and he starts telling me things like, and I'm just like, "No, that's not right." And I'm thinking, "Good lord, what is he watching?" And then he hits on dinosaurs, and he says something about dinosaurs, and I'm like, "Dude, oh my god, dude, dinosaurs aren't real." And I knew when I said it, like, it was going to break his heart, because this guy is like an absolute reptile nut, and like, I knew that was going to break his heart. But you should have seen his face. It was like I felt bad because you could just see the poor guy's heart break when I said that. But I mean, it's the truth. But I mean, I don't know. I guess my point here is we got to remember Is that a green man? Ha ha. Ha ha. Wake up. Is that a green man? We got to remember that the ones that are not awake, that they are so far behind the eight ball that they don't know their ass from their elbow. And you got to remember, we were once there too. So we gotta put on our kid gloves when we're dealing with them, and realize that when we, start talking about things that they've believed their whole life, it could honestly break their hearts. And if you, I'm sure you know what I mean. It's like flat earth, like tripped me up, because it was like, when I learned about that, it took me a while to adjust to that one, because it was like, I really like space and stars and all that stuff. I thought that was really cool, even though I didn't believe, for a long time, didn't believe the moon landing, but I certainly believed in space for long enough. But then, it took me a couple months to really soak that one in. I used to sit outside at night and just look up at the stars and just, like, dumbfounded, like, how in the hell could that not be real? And then, just, it takes a while sometimes, and it can break your heart when you learn some of these things. But then finally you pull your head out of your ass, and everything's right as rain. Hey, look now, you and me gonna go rounds. I'm telling you right now. Okay, I tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. Let's finish this one picture, then we'll take a break, and I'll take you outside. You can run around, chase a pit bull, bite him in the ass, and we'll come back in. You can shut the fuck up. How's that? Deal? Good. Shake on it. All right. We got ether finials right here. Got portholes right here for the wind catcher. Ether fencing, ether finials. More ether finials and lights. Portholes, domes, ether antenna. Look at that thing. Probably full of mercury. Another ether antenna. Hello, Beagle. This dog is gone nuts tonight. Ether antenna. You better calm down. I'm seriously. I don't know what got into you, but you better just chill out. Take a big old chillax. Okay, got a Phoenician shell here. Bunch of Phoenician shells all over this thing, which is interesting. You better chill out. We got to do a good job here. Folks is counting on us. Got some awnings here. Check out that awning. Look at awning. Look at that awning. He's a good awning, ain't it? I know. Okay. All right. Oh goodness, this dog is nuts. Why are you so nuts tonight? You didn't get enough partying all day. You got to come up here and harass me. Hey, go. I don't know where you get your energy from, but it sure ain't me. Good grief. Ugh. Put you on a straitjacket. Whew. Y'all don't know. Huh. Looking down here, got that pavement light there. What else we could find? Some little statue there. Got the thinker right there. I think these water features, I think they were part of the etheric. There's Fred right there, etheric system. Got Mudflood drop-ins right here. See how it drops down right there? So you got Mudflood windows and Mudflood doors down there. And when I say Mudflood windows and doors, that means windows and doors that are below ground level, which is basically one step away from being retarded. And we have big 3 doors, big, massive doors. Those doors are probably, I don't know, 25 feet tall, roughly. Crazy. That's a beautiful building. Let's see what else we can find. I'm sure we can find something. It's kind of weird right there. I'm not sure what that is. That's kind of odd. Best soap. Wow, okay. I want the best soap. Got ether antenna there. Ether finial there. Got them here, and here. Got the wind catcher up here. Beautiful awnings. Nothing says beautiful building like a beautiful awning. Nothing. Nothing sets off a build. Just an absolute beautiful building. Almost ready, except a beautiful awning. Got Fred booking around right here. Got a Mudflood drop in right here. Another one right here. Another big door. Another Mudflood drop in here. This is all going below ground level, y'all. Why would you build like that? Why? I mean, this is, New York. I mean, the snow, the rain, it's going to go right in. It floods in New York. I mean, what are you going to do? You're just going to have the water run down in there? There's a Mudflood drop in there? Is that make sense? I mean, were people just not intelligent back then? Does that make sense? It's either A, they weren't intelligent back then, or B, they didn't build it. So which is it? I think they were intelligent. They couldn't have been that dumb. I don't think. Maybe they could. I don't know. Okay. Let's see. All right. Okay, y'all. We're gonna take us a little break here so that I can take little fart knocker here out for patrol. Maybe get rid of some of this energy. Maybe he'll go take a nap and leave us alone. Okay. All right. Stupid thing. I don't get it out of focus there. Okay, there we go. Oh, welcome back. Okay. I'll call you PJ. You know, Sam, I'm original gangster. You know, I okay. I'm actually not. There's a group of guys that and gals that came before me. You know, your Michelle Gibson, your Johnny Levy, your Martin Leka, your Autodidactic. Um, these guys, these core guys, Conspiracy RS, Mind Unveiled. These guys were the OGs. Your Philip Drosden, they were your OG guys. I came in second gen. Okay, I came in and stood on their shoulders. Now you've got a third wave. You've got your lunch break and your Lucio Solorian and your guys of that era. So they're coming in now. So you have your third wave. I wouldn't say I'm OG, but I'm a junior OG. But I appreciate it either way. Hope you all are having a good time. I had to grab a little something to eat. I still was a little bit hungry. It's been a long day, y'all. Anyways, I'm trying to get my sea legs back doing this again. Because I know you guys really enjoy it, and I really enjoy it, and I want to continue to do these streams more regular and try to keep it going more of a regular thing. I'm going to do my best. So let me go ahead and share screen and make sure that we're sharing here. Give it a minute. Just let it catch up. I gotta, for some reason, it lags on my second laptop here. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's just slow or what. Okay, we're right. Okay, we'll get down to the next picture. Bowling Green, New York, and so this was the same location as the last picture. Just making sure. And I want to go this way first, I think. And we got Fred down here doing what Fred does. Fred delivers everything. And we got some weirdness going on here. Got pavement lights right there. I know they're hard to see, but that's what that is. And that's a pretty awning. There's that ridiculous stair. Looks like there's that dragon looking thing there. Not sure if it is, but it does look like a dragon to me. And that's another thing, y'all. Dragons are real. I believe dragons were definitely real. I believe that the dinosaur bones that we find are not dinosaurs, but they were dragon bones, and that they reconfigured them into these dinosaurs trying to hide the dragons. And why they want to hide the dragons is I don't know. I don't know why they wanted to hide these dragons. But I think the dragons were an important part of what happened. I don't know when exactly they were around, but I do. Yes, Jared Boosters, he's OG. Now I could be a little off on some of these guys, like when they came in. Jared Boosters might have come in the second wave like I did. That's very possible. I'd have to look at the actual dates of when they started making videos. But definitely John Levy, for sure. Mart Leka, Autodidactic, Philip Drosden, Philip Drusden is actually, if you don't know who that is, he actually, hey, Annie, how you doing? He actually is the documented OG. The first, when you do a search, it actually his information is the first one that comes up to mention Mudflood. So back in 2017. So he is now we don't know if he actually is the first or if that's just kind of the way it got logged, but he is definitely one of the first, and I consider him the OG. Um, but that could be debated. I just don't. I don't think anybody knows for sure. I don't think he knows for sure. If he does, he's not telling you. That door is just stupid. Anyways, and you got the mud flood drop in right here. You got the mud flood doors and windows underneath there. Let's just keep moving here. And here's a little thought. Okay, in this time frame, we don't have electricity. We got electricity, but it's just coming in. Let me be clear. Because you got a few arc lights around here and there. Okay, there's just not a lot of it. The very high rollers had some electricity, but the masses didn't have electricity yet. They didn't have much plumbing, and when these buildings are being built, they didn't install them with electricity, and they didn't install them with plumbing. Porthole window there, more porthole windows here for the wind catchers, etheric antennas or fencing right here, more portholes there, etheric finial there, etheric finial, etheric fencing, and they didn't have electricity, they didn't have plumbing. Check out these etheric lights there. Look at these doors right here. That's interesting. The wind catcher, portholes, etheric antenna going up, probably Mercury in the ball there, another etheric antenna. So you got these big ass buildings, these big beautiful buildings with even more beautiful awnings, and they can do all this detailed work in pediments and make all this amazing. Would you, whatever you're doing, I know what you're up to, and you better quit it right now. I know what you're up to. I'm on to you. Just know I'm on to you. I gave him a little something. He's hiding it. I know what you're up. Just hey, look here. See this? This is me seeing you doing what you're doing, being naughty. Okay. So they don't have plumbing, they don't have electricity. Okay, and let's go back in time now that we've had that conversation, whatever that conversation was, and let's go back to like castle times, right? And they're sitting up there in castles, and they've got outhouses and toilets up in their castles. Okay, we know this, right? And look at these trolleys all lined up. That's kind of weird. And they got these toilets, right? Now they're not fancy, they're not plumbed or anything, but they got toilets in their castles. Okay. And then you got the Romans, the quote unquote Romans, which I don't think were actually Romans, but anyways. Philip gave a number to the previous population. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't heard that one. Got portholes up here, etheric antennas up here, here. That's representing the torus field. So the Romans had plumbing, okay, and they had toilets, and they had these public toilets, but they also had private toilets, but they had plumbing, okay. And what my point is that back in the day, not everywhere, but in places. Okay, we got a barber pole and you got a mud flood drop in there. Anytime you see a barber pole, look down, and there would probably be pavement light in this right here, these weird looking steps right here, and then there's a trap door right there, and a mud flood drop in and a door underneath there, and then a mud flood drop in there and there and there. And so they got toilets back then and got Mudflood windows right down here, etheric fencing here. And so you got these toilets back then, right? Okay, well, that was back in the day. That was back, in dark ages and shit. Okay, back, which didn't happen. But anyways, the point is that in the histories, they tell us they had toilets. They knew how to take a shit, right? Back in the day, they knew how to do it. They knew how to dig a latrine. They knew how to make toilets that were inside the castle. This is the point. I'm not talking about outhouses. I'm talking about shit inside the structures. They had public restrooms inside the structures. Okay. They knew how to do this. They knew how to make plumbing. Okay. We know this. Okay. So why on God's green earth would they build these buildings starting in 1850-ish, these massive buildings that they can do them perfect without power, without plumbing, and they didn't put damn toilets in them? That means, okay, let's just hear it out. Okay, you're up here, you're chilling up here, right? You're just hanging out up here, viewing the sights and everything, and all of a sudden, you got to take shit. What are you going to do? You got to walk all the way down. All the way down. Flight after flight after flight. Flight after flight after flight. Flight after flight after flight. You got to walk out. You got to walk around. You got to walk down. You got to go behind the building. You got to go down in the Mudflood drop-in. And you got to drop trowel and shit in the street. Because where's the toilets? Oh, they had bedpans. Really? They had bedpans? So in every single room they had a bedpan. For guests they had bedpans. Where are they dumping all these bedpans? I mean, it don't add up, y'all. Why would you build these buildings without damn toilets? Why would you build these buildings this high without toilets? Why would you build anything above 1 story or 2 stories with no toilet? Knowing good and damn well in the middle of the night you got to get up and take a poo. Everybody got a poo. There's even books on it called Everybody Poos. So we know everybody poos, right? And then you got stuff like this. Arches below ground as they're digging up and, doing renovations, and they wall it off so nobody can see it. I'm just saying, why is that there? Anybody got any idea? Why is that there? Anybody got any ideas? Anybody answer that one for me? Why is there an arch going out to the middle of the road from a building that's not there? Why? Anyone? Bueller? Carnegie Steel Plant, Homestead, PA. And this will be a series of pictures, so there'll be 4 or 5 pictures on this area, just so you know. Brace yourself. So we got these big old massive doohickeys. That's a technical term. Check out that big old train car. Look at that massive arch right there, and little tiny arches. These baby arches. I don't know what those are, but those are humongous. Big old things. Big old smokestacks. I believe we probably added those. I think steel was old world, but I think it was also new in the old world. It was a newer technology, and they had not used it much. And I think that's why you don't find it very much in the early times, in the early days. I think it wasn't their structure of choice at that time, and they were just kind of coming into it, and they had to use a lot of it. Not to say they didn't use a lot of it; they did use a lot. It's just in mass they had not used it a lot. It was still a newer technology. Technology is always changing in the construction field. I mean, I can't keep up. I swear, every time I go to the store, there's a new product, a new way to do something. They're always coming up with new ways, or they change the codes or whatever. I mean, it's ridiculous. All the ways that things can be done. Of Carnegie steel plant. Now, I wanted to show you these pictures just to kind of give you an idea of the massiveness of the industry that was going on in this time frame. I mean, it's just kind of not what I expected it was like back then. That's a weird little feature, but I imagine what they could do is bring their little Fred up here and back it up to that and unload. A little Mudflood window right there, another Mudflood window right there. Got a weirdness here. Looks like the ground level drops down to this building, like they dug it out right there. Maybe, hard to tell. Those big arches. That is a cool building right there. I mean, the roof is not cool, but the building is really cool. That's a cool structure to me. Just look at the amount. I mean, it's just all already there. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't believe that we built this world. Like, I mean, it's just too big. We're not that damn industrious. I'm sorry. Most people was just lazy. Most people was just trying to get by. And I just don't see. I mean, yeah, could we have built these little houses? Sure. Yeah. I don't see any problem with that because these are actually very easy constructions. A framing, it's just easy. They just back then they would have balloon framed that. But it's the big structures that I really have a problem with, and the more elaborate structures. Got little Mudflood windows there. Little Mudflood window there. See how it drops down right there? Kind of weird. This is the house I was just talking about where it drops in. See that weirdness right there? Kind of odd. Little Mudflood window there. We's just looking around, y'all. We got nowhere to be. You never know what you'll see. And I don't know what's going to inspire you. Different things inspire different people. And so I'm just showing you this world and giving you a way to see this world for what it truly was back then. Look at that tower right there with the etheric antenna on it. Look at the pollution. That's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. They say that back in the day, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, like it was so the smoke was so bad you couldn't even see. Here's another thing. Okay, if we build all these structures right, let's take this. Let's take this little mind flow here. Okay, so let's just assume. Let's put our ideas aside for a second and just talk mainstream narrative for a second. Okay, let's just give the mainstream narrative the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say we built all this shit, right? And back in the, starting say 1850 and up to the 1940s, and let's say we built like this amazing world with little Mudflood windows for no damn reason. But let's say we did. Let's say we were that complicated. Now, imagine in your mind's eye, this is going to be a hard one to do. But imagine in your mind's eye, if you don't know what that means, please look it up. Imagine in your mind's eye, there's a wind catcher, and arched windows. Okay, how many masons, stone masons, brick masons, how many carpenters, how many roofers, how many windows and door makers, how many deck builders, how many wrought iron fence makers, how many finial makers, how many flagpole makers, how many railroad builders, how many train builders, how many stone brick road builders. See, we can build. Look at this. This is easy construction here. This is just A-framing, balloon frame, probably not a big deal, but that foundation, maybe we found that. So imagine all those workers, okay? Just put your mind's eye in that time frame between 1850 and 1943. I have my reasons. And we have this time frame. Let's call it okay, shits and giggles, let's just call it a 100-year period, 1850 to 1950. I believe it shut off in 1943, but let's call it 1950, whatever, just to make it simple. 100-year period. Within a 100-year period, how many stonemasons, carpenters, bricklayers, chimney builders, fireplace builders, flooring people, how many people that did the board, what do they call it, the board and lathe, the where they did the plaster walls, where they hung up the boards on the walls and then did the what was it, 4 layers of wall. I can't remember how many layers it was. It's like 3 or 4 layers on those old plaster walls. Seriously, look into it. They would hang these strips of wood every quarter inch with a quarter inch gap, a little 1-inch strip of wood on the 2x, and then they would put in a mortar of some sort, and then they would put in something over that, and then they would put something over that, and then they would put, I think, a final coat on it, and then they would paint it. Okay, all these layers. Oh, and the painters. How many painters were there in this 100-year period? How many were there across the United States? Just in the United States. Let's not get crazy. Okay, let's not drop some acid and start talking about around the world. Let's just keep it simple. Let's keep it simple. 50 states, okay? Probably not 50 states back then, but you get the point. Okay, in the states, how many structures were built? And I'm talking about all the houses, all the downtowns, all the big ass buildings, all the brick roads, all the stone walls, all the brick walls, all the churches, all the canals, all the railroads, all the steam engines, all the railroad cars, all these industrial plants. Okay, I want you to get in your mind's eye all the construction workers that were needed to fill these job roles. Okay, and then somewhere in there we added electricians, we added plumbers. Okay, we got to add them in at some point. Let's go halfway in. Okay, we're gonna stick our toe in, and we're gonna get wet. Okay, we're gonna get in there, and we're gonna add plumbers and electricians. Okay, and let's not forget the waterworks and the steam plants and the radiators for the steam. No, you got to add in all this stuff. All the glass makers, which was a secret art. You got to add in all the stained glass. Okay, well, add in all this stuff. Okay, you got all this stuff. Then add in all the horses that were needed, and all the cart makers, and all the people that were growing the food to keep these people working, and all the people that were bringing in the water to keep these people watered, and all the people that were building latrines, the outhouses, and then later the telegraph lines. Okay, all these workers building this infrastructure, okay, for 100 years. Okay, imagine that in your mind's eye. Okay, you got it. Okay, now I want you to hold that, and then I want you to move forward to today. Where are the descendants? Do you know for sure if your great 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 grandpappy did any of that? Do you have any proof of that? Do you know that? Do you know if your great 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 Uncle Bob had anything to do with any of that work? Do you know if your great 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 grandmammy had anything to do with any of this? Have you heard any handed down stories that such and such worked on such and such in such and such time? Where is the flow of the transition of the knowledge that great 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 grandpappy Bob built this structure right here, or this steel plant, or this cast iron pig iron in Iroquois smelter in Chicago? Okay, where for all the years I've been doing this, I haven't had not one single person come to me and say, yeah, my great great grandpappy Bobby Boo Bob, that he used to be the stonemason that built the big Fort Macon. He's one of the ones that laid all the millions of bricks for the Penn Station. Yes, sir. I got the proof. Yes, sir. I've got his pay stubs right here. Right here. I got the pay stubs. Show me the pay stubs. Show me the proof. Where's the proof? What's up with these portholes here? They ain't even got windows in them. We're making pig iron? What's going on here? What is this building originally for? What is this? Was this originally to make pig iron? I mean, something, I don't know. But are you following me, people? Do you hear the words that are trickling out of my mouth? You got this guy right here walking right here, right? Okay. Where is the descendants of this dude? Okay, where is this guy's, people saying my great 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 grandpappy was the guy that was walking in front of the Cathedral of St. James in Montreal, Quebec between 1890 and 1901 and got taken by the Detroit Photograph Company. He is famous. Where is that guy? Where is that family? Where are these people? Where are they? I want to know. Where are they? Okay, we got one. Okay, sure, maybe we have somebody out there that has that story. Sure, it's possible. I haven't found them, but let's give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's give it the benefit of the doubt that I find 100,000 people that have got this story. Do you really think that 100,000 people did all this work? Do you really believe that 100,000 people could have done all this work? If you believe that, you're smoking some good shit. I'm telling you, you're hitting that real good, because there ain't no damn way. I'm telling you. Look at these ether fennials right here, ether fencing, and just, little Mudflood drop in, and horseshit stairs, and big ass doors, and absolutely perfect awnings. Love a good awning. I think fire hydrants are old world. Just an opinion. I believe these represent the Taurus field. I believe it's possible, just a theory, could be talking out my tail keister. I believe that this right here, this symbol represents star forts. But I could be shooting, blanks. I don't know. I'm just saying, every time I see that, I think star fort. Okay, so this is called a niche, and it's interesting. They used to have little statues in them. Where are the statues at? Why are they gone? Why is this building, this beautiful building, why are the statues going out of the niches? Why did they have a niche if you're not going to have a statue? Where's the statue for this niche, and this niche, and this niche, and this niche, and this niche? Where are the statues at? And we got statues up here, which I believe, just an opinion. That's funny. I gotta preface everything with that's my opinion. I hear other people have to do the same thing when they want to state something. It's like, well, they got to make sure this was just my opinion, but it is. It's just my opinion because then you get people's knickers twisted. I think these right here are horseshit narrative. I think what you're looking at right there is horseshit narrative. Yeah, I said it. Horseshit narrative. Okay, all of it. I believe all that right there is just added horseshit narrative. Just saying. That's my opinion. I bet something was on that. See, there's that symbol again. I think that's a symbol. Look for this symbol, y'all. When you see something over and over again, this is something I see over and over again, you realize it's a symbol. It's not just random. And this would have been added. That's horseshit narrative. Got all these portholes up here. Each one of these could be opened and create ventilation through the building for the wind catcher, which is right here. And this would have been added. So there was something on top of this. That is not original. I believe all the crosses came later. It's my opinion, y'all. But we can do an absolute perfect. I mean, look at the perfect symmetry of this electrical pole right here. Absolutely perfect. Beautiful. beautiful. And I don't know why it's weird, but you see there's damage to this picture. I think that it is a chemical mistake. And the reason I say that is that I can still see the image behind this, which tells me it wasn't scraped. If it was scraped, it wouldn't be there. So I think, and it did happen. They messed up. You know, you're walking with the negative back to the train and you trip and you mess it up. It's possible, or something, or you drop it, or who knows. Central Park, New York Metropolitan Art Museum. I know. I'm just trying to put it out there. We got flat Earth asterisks here, and I believe the horizontal represents the flat Earth. The vertical here represents the north and south poles, and the X represents the torus field around the flat Earth. That's my opinion. This would also be called, in architectural terms, Roman lattice. And that was a term that was dug up from the research of Billy Philly, who is now in Las Vegas. So shout out to Billy Philly. He's not doing videos right now, but maybe in the future, maybe he'll get to downtown Las Vegas, which I hear might have some stuff. So shout out Billy Philly. And I got some Mudflood windows there, and it's really kind of weird right there. See that, how that it's very strange. The texture there is weird. I don't know what's going on there. You got a Phoenician shell. Interesting. At their finial up here. At their fencing. That kind of reminds me of a fleur-de-lis, which I also believe represents the Phoenix. And check out that dude. Wow. Oh, man. He's cool looking. Very neat. Got a circumpunct that represents the creator. That is the earliest symbol for the creator, what you call God. But the creator of the universe, the ultimate architect, whatever you want to call him, jackass of all, whatever you want to call him, doesn't matter what you call him, as long as you know who you're talking about, what you're talking about. It's not really a who, it's more like a what. It's a all-encompassing consciousness. It's love and light, and it's also negative and dark. It's everything in a swirl, big old swirl of chaos. Oh, this is a interesting. I don't know how you look this up, but this is an interesting representation of order out of chaos. If you want to look into this, this is really cool. If you take a box, and you could do this yourself, if you take a box and you take a box of, let's say, a 5-pound box of nails or screws, same kind, I think. Let's keep it simple. And you dump them in. You just dump them into the box. You take the 5-pound box of nails and you dump it into the bigger box, empty box, and then shake the box. Just shake the box, shake the box, shake the box. Keep shaking the box, and eventually those nails will line themselves up, and they'll perfectly arrange themselves in the box. Look it up. Order out of chaos. It's something to really consider, really to think about. There's Fred back there. Fred thought he was going to hide behind that bush. He ain't slick. Check out that gas light. What else we got here? Oh, look at these etheric lights. Oh, I love these. I wish I had some of these. Yeah. I tried to talk my buddy into buying some of these for his front gate, and not these, but the ones they hang on the wall. And he just thought that was just the craziest thing. He's like, "Are you out of your mind?" I'm like, "Well, maybe a little, but wouldn't it be cool?" He's like, "No." And I'm like, "Yeah, it would be cool." I was trying to talk him in those, those copper patinaed ones with the like spikes coming out the top. Oh man, I would have been so cool, but I couldn't get him to go for it. He ended up getting some crappy lantern ones, like just regular old crappy lantern ones. I thought stupid. Whatever. I mean, the ones I was picking out were only like $2,000 each or something. Whatever. There's Boss Man. And this door's been redone, I think. Look at that. It's an outcrop door. And I've spoken about this before, where they would make the door smaller, they would do this little trick where they'd make an outcrop door where you had two sets of doors, and they would say it's to keep the air out, but it was really to do, well, that was one reason they did. But the second reason was to hide the big door. They didn't want you to know that was there, because you're not in the know. And that's very techie looking to me right there. I don't know what it means or anything. And this almost looks like a scrubbed cartouche. And they could come in here and they could just chisel this off. But this is a weird looking structure. It's like it's stuccoed or something. It's got a weird look to it. Not sure. Chateau Frontenac, Quebec. I did not say that right, I'm sure. That's okay. Let's see. That's a weird little do that. Okay. Defense. I don't know what that means. I don't think cannons were used as cannons were. I had this. I don't want to give that away. I'm working on an idea. I don't know if I'm on to something or not, but it has to do with cannons. I'm gonna hold on to that one. Y'all aren't ready for that yet. I got this is an interesting phenomenon under these gazebos. You see these gazebos in a lot of the towns and cities, and they have a weird phenomenon. If you look into them, especially back in the day, there's still some of them that have it. They all seem to have this underneath part. Sometimes it's buried. Sometimes it's got mud flood windows. Sometimes you can't hardly see it. Sometimes it's got a weird mud flood dropping stairs going down to a door. Sometimes it's like, it's there and there's no indication other than like a J ventilation or something. But there always seems to be an underneath to the gazebos. Now, why that is, I don't know. But it's something to look at, like something to look for. Don't, when you see a gazebo, it's there's more to it than meets the eye. And I think gazebos were some sort of technology, and it could quite possibly have something to do with the resonance of the sound. Let's say if you're playing music or having a speech, that the sound would resonate up to the roof and then curve kind of like in a tourist field back down and all the way around in 360 degrees. And there's a great representation of this concept in a video that I did oh gosh, a while back. Can't remember the name of it. Hotel of the Sun, Hotel of the Soul, something like that. Oh gosh, I'm not remembering. It's on my channel. It's a video. It's about a Mexican hotel, abandoned a Mexican hotel, and they have one of these features in that hotel. That video is very interesting if you really take the time to listen to it. I put it to music, but the architecture in that building and the history of that building is very interesting. I really think that video is very interesting personally. But that's maybe just me. Maybe I'm, not hitting on all cylinders. I don't know, but it's okay. I'm here, you're here, we're all here. And we got Etherphenials. I don't know. Go check out that video. I just can't remember the name of it. Tired, y'all. Give me a break. It's on my channel. If somebody goes, finds it, and puts it up, I'd appreciate it. Normally Hippie would do that, but Hippie's got a night off. She's got more important things she had to take care of this week, but she will be back next week. So Hippie says hello to everybody. And okay, now this is another thing. We got to talk Meltology. Put on your Meltology caps, everybody, especially you, haha. Okay, so Meltologists will tell you that these are balloon rocks. Okay, so the great John Levy would tell you this is a balloon rock, and that these blocks right here are also balloon rocks. But so these ones and these ones are bricks that morphed into rocks, remain level and true, and in perfect fashion, and in with a perfect coin. Okay, and then they also made this rain little easement thing here where the rain would run off, and then these bricks right here did not get cooked. No, these bricks these bricks did not get cooked. But then these right here, these ones, these stones, these are bricks that got balloon rock, and these right here that look like a coin with a Q are balloon rocks, or balloon bricks, popcorn bricks, and these ones right here, these are bricks that turn into bricks, but these ones didn't get cooked, but these ones here did, and these ones didn't get cooked, and these ones did get cooked, and these ones didn't get cooked, and these ones did get cooked, and these ones didn't get cooked, and these ones did get cooked, and these ones didn't get cooked, and these ones did get cooked, and these. I mean, can you seriously? What the fuck are y'all smoking? What? Are y'all smoking like pure like peyote? What are you smoking? They would literally say that this is a balloon brick, that this is a brick that has turned into. John Levy will tell you this is a brick that's turned into a stone. John Levy, our great Lord and Savior, John Levy. Saint Levy. Fuck. You won't come and debate me, I bet. Bring it on, motherfucker. Please. Please, Lord, send me John Levy for a debate. Please. Please. I would love to ask him these questions. Absolutely love it. Prove it to me. Please. Please. Please, John Levy, St. John Levy, please. Lord, please, John Levy, send me a debate and prove me the brick and turn it into a rock. Please. I'm praying to our great Saint Levy. I don't know if my prayers will be answered. We got Ether Finnegan up here. Y'all think I'm joking. I'm not joking. I want a debate with John Levy, with the great John Levy. I want a debate. I'm calling him out. I mean, what? Where is he? I mean, there's only look. Let me give y'all the cliff notes, y'all. I guarantee you, John's watching in some way, shape, or form. John's watching. He knows. Because you know why I know? Because I know. Trust me. He's very clever in his wording, and if you watch his videos, he'll send messages to people, very encoded messages. He's a very clever individual, and he will code messages to people. And I've literally heard him code messages to me before, so I know he's paying attention. I know, not to mention he has taken my content, so there's that. But we won't bring that up too much. Fucking bullshit. And we got ether antenna there, and that's okay. Imitation is the best form of flattery, I guess. That is a beautiful building. It really is. I like it. I want one. Can I get a quote, please? Mr. Contractor, can I get a quote on that, please? Yes, John Levy has mentioned Fred a few times. Yes. And I appreciate him watching. I do. I just wish that I honestly, you know what I really wish? I really wish that the truth community, quote unquote, could actually have a conversation without people getting their panties twisted. That's what I wish. I wish that we could. I wish that John Levy could pick up the phone and call me and say, "Hey, let's talk about Meltology. Hey, man, we ain't gotta have it, live or on a video. We could just have a conversation and kind of work out our thoughts here and kind of butt heads a little bit and see, where our differences really lie, and where we agree, where we disagree, where he's wrong, where maybe I'm wrong. Let's talk about it." But see, we can't do that. No. The truth community. No. Here's the truth, y'all. The truth community is bullshit. That's the truth. There's your truth. This is Chicago Public Library, and this right here is Boss Man. No, y'all. I want to figure this shit out, and it's very frustrating that the community cannot communicate. And people will start to communicate, and then they'll break down and they'll start throwing hissy fits and throwing each other on the bus, and it's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous. The awakened people are the most biggest jackasses in the whole world. I think the sheep are easier to deal with than awakened people. I'm talking about y'all in the chat. I'm talking about every one of y'all. Y'all are pain in the ass, and you know it. I love you, but you're fucking pains in the asses. No, you're good people. It's just when you're awake, you it's frustrating because we all have all this extra knowledge and all this special awakened knowledge, and we're not always 100%. We don't all know it all, and so I might know half of this and you might know half of that, and then we meet and then we realize, and then you got the thing of I'll have people that are around for a long time and they really enjoy what I'm doing. Then I'll say one little thing that goes against their narrative that they've created in their mind, and they throw their hissy fit. Oh Lord, oh me, oh my, I can't believe you don't believe this, or you believe that, or and it's like, come on, really? Okay, all right, well, don't let the door hit you on the way out. I'm sorry, but Mamoosh, look at that etheric light right there. I love these things. I would like one of these. If anybody would like to bring me one of these, I would gladly accept it with a smile. Look at these little stars, little flat earth asterisks right there. I mean, why are you gonna put a flat earth asterisk on a light pole? Is there a need? So, these are cool. Look at that. Look at that wrought iron work right there. Beautiful. No, I just wish we could do better. I wish we could communicate, but we can't. For now, I don't know. Maybe somebody will, fix it. I don't know. I tried fixing it once, and I found out that was a bad idea. Won't do that again. I tried to bring the community together, and they literally ate each other alive. It was like the snake eating its tail. That was the truth community behind the scenes. They literally ate each other. It was horrible. Never do that again. Idiots. Oh. Anyways, Phoenician wave right there. This could be a scrub cartouche, and that is a perfect awning. There is nothing better than a perfect awning. Just nothing. I mean, can you imagine anything better than that beautiful awning right there? Nothing. You can't do it. But look at that light. I don't know. That light could give it a run for its money. Beautiful. Oh, what we got here? Got some Roman numerals. Anybody want to translate that for me? Me no do no Roman numeral. And these are weird. Now, don't write this down or hold me to it or anything, but I think these are ventilations to the underground right here. Right here. But I don't know for sure. Don't know. They're very weird. See right there, right there, right there. That is a ventilation to the underground. I love these lights right here. So cool. Where was I? Got some more Roman numerals if anybody would like to translate. Now, just so y'all know, I do go back and read the chats after the show. I'm the world's worst live streamer, y'all. By the way, so I get in my own little groove, and I just ride. I just there's a V. Anytime you see a V in the words, I believe that's old writing. Is that V right there? I go back and read the chats after the show. Maybe not right after the show, but before the next show. I try to go back. I don't think I've ever failed, but I go back and read the chats because I want to be there and understand, what you're saying. So if you have something you want to say, yes, I don't do very well at talking to you guys during the show because I'm just terrible at that. I mean, everybody else seems to be better at that than I am. I'm Gen X, y'all. That I'm just old school. I'm just not. It's just not my thing. I do the best I can with it. Hey GT, I'm saying hey to you. Glad you found your wrench. I don't know why you didn't have a wrench. Anyways, I corrected you. There's a Tartarian line here. Yeah, I said it. But yeah, if there's something you want to say, just note that I do read these chats. Okay, I do read them because you take your time to write something. I want to know what you said, even if it's just joking around. I want I'm interested. Flat Earth asterisks up here, so feel free to ask questions and got an arc light there. I think that's about it. Got cobblestone brick road. Let's see what else we got. This is also the Chicago Public Library. It's another picture, same location. You got ghost people right here. You see how they're moving too fast for the camera to catch it? Interesting. And these photographers, they would take multiple pictures sometimes of locations. I believe it had to do with the doing different exposures if they were concerned about the lighting of an area, and they would try different exposures to make sure that they got the picture. I think they were. I got a feeling these guys were connected. That they were part of the cover up. I have my reasons, but I think that they were documenting this world. I think they were very, important in the documentation of what was here. This is Church of Saint Anne de Beaupré. What the hell? Interior. I'm not pronouncing that right. I am not a wordsmith, and I definitely don't speak French. Quebec. So y'all can pronounce that for yourself. I don't, maybe I can. It's right there. I hope y'all can even read that. No, y'all can't read that too good. This is interesting. Look at this. I'm assuming that this is radiators, but not positive. It's interesting nonetheless, but I think that's radiators, which would be coming in from the steam plant. I believe there's several pictures of the outside of this building coming up. This look like gas lamps, maybe, I would say. It's a guess. It's okay to guess. There you go. Excuse me. It's been a long day, y'all. Yeah, that's pretty neat right there. You behaving yourself, ha ha. Who's Gen X? Oh, Kathy's Gen X. You go, girl. Gen X is the best gen. I'm gonna say it right here, right now. Gen X, we're the best generation. Prove me wrong. Go on, try. We had it all. We had the 70s, we had the 80s, we had the 90s, we had the 2000s. We had it all. Every bit of it. We were right there. We were before the technology, and we is at the end of the technology. we got it all. Don't fuck with us. The grid could go down tomorrow. We'd be like, all right, where's the water hose? we're kind of indestructible. We're just cut from different cloth. I don't know what to tell you. No, we don't do boomers. No, the boomers. They're a whole nother. Boomers is a whole nother. The boomers that they're like stuck in their ways. They can't adapt. They don't adapt. Gen X can adapt to the best of situations, and they can adapt to the worst of situations. We're very adaptable. We're and I think we're aging in reverse. You figure that one out. I can't figure that one out. I don't know. Look at that. Oh, man. Yeah. Because, see, God needs that to know that you love him. I mean, it. It's more like it. Let's call it it. It's called God it. It. God it. Because it's not male. It's not female. So it's an it. I don't know. Cousin it. God is cousin it. There. This is the same church. This is, why does it say upright? I don't know. Anyways, this is outside the church, obviously. As if you thought it was inside. This is a water fountain, which is interesting. The horses could get their water there too. People, horses, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's all the same water. That's weird how they got one type of roof there and another type of roof here. Metal roof here, or tin roof, I guess it would be. Might be copper. Not sure what that is. Kind of weird looking. At their antenna back here. The lightning rod on it. Got a porthole. That's the wind catcher and the bell. More portholes with a flat earth asterisk on it. Y'all think I'm joking about these flat earth asterisks? I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Once I get it into your heads about this flat earth asterisk and you start looking for it, you're going to start seeing it and you're going to be like, that daggone BEAGS, man. Now, why do you have to point that out? Because now I can't see nothing but a damn flat earth asterisk everywhere I look. It'll drive you crazy. I'm telling you, you're going to see it everywhere now. If you can get this image in your mind and remember it's an 8-pointed asterisk. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8-point asterisks. Okay? Flat earth asterisk. I call it the FE asterisk. Okay? If you can get that in your mind's eye, okay, you remember that. There's your somatic purdy. You're going to start seeing it everywhere. And I'm not just talking about old world pictures. I'm talking about everywhere. Look for it everywhere. Look for it in your TV, in your movies, in your news broadcast, in your clothing, in your everything, commercials, everything. Look for the pattern everywhere, and you will see it everywhere. They still use it. They put it in all you wouldn't believe it. They're going to put it in places you wouldn't believe. I can't tell you how many TV shows I've seen it in the background as part of the set. Ladies in uniform. Got an anchor symbology. That's interesting. And this is the same church, different angle. You gotta let it lock in because we're going high res. Got some horseshit narrative, it looks like. I don't think that's original. These little crosses here. That's kind of odd. Interesting. AD I-876. Interesting. Got 4 ones for the Roman numeral for the Mandela affected. And if you'll see, that's a porthole window that is just barely ajar. So it has a point here and a point here inside the window so they can rock it back and forth and open it, at different. The more they open it, the more air comes in. You follow? Of course you follow. Architectural urns. That's the wind catcher. Representing the Taurus field right there. Flat earth asterisk. Of course, we've already been through that. More of the wind catcher. Another flat earth asterisk. Horseshit narrative. Get your Isis and Horus. Look into that if you haven't already. And we got the cymatics. And I believe that they changed the stained glass out. And I believe that if I remember correctly, and I had kind of come to the same conclusion, but I think that I want to say Jared Boosters might have done a video on that a long time ago. So shout out Jared Boosters. Jared, Jared, just so you know, just my opinion of Jared Boosters, he's a good kid. He's a good dude. He does a lot for our community, and he even goes above and beyond what y'all realize behind the scenes. He works really hard to bring you the content that he brings you. So shout out Jared Boosters for going the extra mile. He's OG as far as I'm concerned. I don't believe he's first wave, but I believe he is second wave like me. What do you call that? OG Junior? I'm OG Junior. I need a gang sign. What's a Beagle gang sign? I need a gang sign. Gotta have my OG Junior gang sign. Got the flat Earth ether antenna there, and there, and there. You gotta have those. Very important. Gotta have that etheric energy. And then we got City Hall in Montreal. Got a cobblestone brick road. Got a little puppy. Let it lock in. There we go. Dear little puppy dog. Hello. Got a boater hat. And this is interesting here. Check out what we got going here. We got a bunch of dirt here. And look at this, how this wall comes across, and then you got these big doors down here, street levels down here, and like, why is this dirt here? Where is that dirt coming from? If where's it going? See, I think they're digging this out. I think they're digging that out because you notice how it got grass here, okay? So I don't think that they transported this dirt from over here across this dirt without getting the dirt all dirty and then deposited here. And I don't think that a steam shovel, which they would have used in this time frame, could have reached far enough to dump this dirt that far. Maybe it could, but I don't think it could. I think they're digging it out. And I think that's what this little dude here is doing. This little dude here is doing. I think this little dude's boss man. He's watching it. He's watching it go down, man. He's down in there, man. And they got a flatter torch field there at their finial there at their fencing, at their finials, portholes, more at their fencing and then finials, at their antenna right there, portholes at their finials, more at their finials, more at the finials, circumpunct, represent the creator, portholes at their fencing, at their finials, at their antenna going straight up there. A beautiful look at that foam pole. How beautiful that is. That is a beautiful foam pole. Got a at their antenna there, at their fencing and finials, portholes, clock with 4 1s for your Mandela affected folk. Got the kind of looks like a fleur-de-lis at their finials, at their fencing. I think those could be fleur-de-lis. Got Tartarian lions right there. Check that out right there. That will be part of the construction. Now that's also a possibility. Let's go on. See, we got to go with what could it also be. Now this could be possible. Now let's put it all out on the doggone table. Okay, they could be tearing the shit out of the interior of this building. See this windows open right here, and this, you got this right here where a little plank coming out. That ain't normal. Okay. I don't think they're raising stuff up because they don't got a crane, but what they could be doing is coming out and dropping over and dumping it down here. But I don't explain this over here, but they could have already worked over here. So it could be they're working on the interior, but then that kind of doesn't make sense because this looks like dirt. Yes, you see rock. I don't know. Why would it be up here? So that dog ain't hunting too good. But we do have to consider that could be a possibility. That there's something that they're dropping it down and not digging it out, or maybe it's both. So let's leave it all on the table. Okay. Let's put our mashed potatoes over here and our green beans over here, and we'll put the steak in right up in the middle. There's your steak. Okay, and we'll figure it out from there. I don't know the answer. I just know that's a porthole, and that's a porthole. Okay, and that's a Taurus field, and that's a ether finial, and that's a porthole. These are for the wind catcher. That's ether fencing, ether finial, ether antenna. Drawing in the etheric antenna. Got a big old dome back here in case you need a dome. Etheric fencing right there. Got a fountain. I believe fountains were part of the old world system. I believe they needed to keep the water moving because they understood living water. Living water. Look at these ether lights right here. These etheric lights. So cool. And they always seem to be in twos when they're like that. Very symmetrical. That is a really cool building. A lot going on in that picture. And this is the coffee exchange in New York, in case you need coffee. I bet this is where Mr. St. Levy buys his coffee. What do you think? Okay. And we got Balsa Man right there. We got a Mudflood drop-in right there. Got pavement light right there. Got a Mudflood drop-in right there. Another Mudflood drop-in right there and there. And there's pavement light right there. And that is very weird. I'm not sure what they got built there. That's kind of odd. Got coal hole covers, and these right here, they're not manhole covers, they're coal hole covers. Well, it's a coal hole cover. A coal hole cover. Now, let me explain now. Listen up. From the building to the well, sometimes it was, okay, from the, how to explain this? Underneath here, there's a wall, okay, that they have built under the ground, okay? There's imagine a wall opposite, going parallel to this wall of the building over here. Sometimes it was right here. Sometimes it was over here at the edge of the road. Okay. Obviously, and I could tell you from just because I know shit, that this is an areaway. This entire underneath here is an areaway. This is a coal hole cover here, 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 and here. These round covers, they're not sewer covers. Okay. Sewer covers are in the road there. That's a sewer cover. A coal hole cover is where the coal carts, which would be a horse and a cart, would pull up and they would dump the coal, usually on the ground, okay, in the street, and then they would scoop it with they'd open up this coal hole cover and they would scoop it up and they would dump it in this hole and they put the cover back over it. Then, because the boilers were in the basement, they would come in over through the building, okay, and come out the old doors underneath the building, underneath the sidewalk, into the coal hole area, and they would scoop up the coal and bring it in. That way they didn't have to bring the dirty, nasty coal through the building. That is a coal hole. I have diagrams on some of my videos about this, talking about pavement lights and coal holes and all that good happy shit. Okay, so you can go watch them videos. Okay, pavement lights. I brought pavement lights to the world first. That was my first claim to fame. You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. Enjoy. Pavement lights are my jam. And that is not a flat earth asterisk, but it's reminiscent of a flat earth asterisk, even though it's missing the horizontal plane. And this is the coffee exchange, in case you need, coffee in a building that represents, good Lord. And, this is really interesting how it's a porthole and then it's got this bricked in area here. That's strange. I don't know what that is. And there's that weird shield symbol that I'm looking for what it's called, and nobody seems to know. And this is interesting. Here's the same porthole it's got an opening porthole window there, a square porthole. So that opens right there. I thought that was bricked up. Maybe it's not. Maybe it just kind of looks like it's brick. Maybe that's brick and that's not. I don't know. It's hard to tell, but that obviously you can tell that's a porthole. Obviously. I mean, come on, people. We know what we're talking about here. Okay, we got what do we got? I don't know. What we got? Gonna have anything? I don't know. Never know. Who the hell knows? Let's see. Got little cherubs. I mean, just the detail. I mean, come on. What? Why? Oh, that awning. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh. I mean, look. I mean, oh, I've seen beautiful women not as beautiful as that awning. I love a good awning. Who doesn't love an awning? They're beautiful, especially on a beautiful building. They make a beautiful building like 20 times more beautiful. The awning. It's the best invention ever made. We made those. We made awnings. That's another guy you got to add to your contractor list, is the guy that made the awnings. Hey, who's great grandpappy was the guy that made the awnings. And whatever happened to all the apprentices of these families? Because you know how they, that's Tartarian line. And he got them all the way across the building. And he got etheric antenna going up there. Okay, so back in the day, we all know from our story, our official indoctrination, where they would tell us, that you had, let's say, a stonemason. Okay, a guy was a stonemason. And then he would apprentice usually his son, okay, and his son would become a stonemason. He would apprentice, and then he would become a stonemason, and then his son will become an apprentice, and then he will become a stonemason. Okay, well, where is that family history of all these stonemason and apprentices that have been handed down through the years? Where are these people at? Do you know them? Think about it. Do you know any stonemasons? I personally know some stonemasons. I do. Does their history go back to this time frame? Absolutely not. No. Matter of fact, the stonemasons that I know, they're really good. But you know what? They couldn't build this. Are there stonemasons today that can build this? Yes. But how many stonemasons are out there that can actually do this today? Well, there's not as much call for it today, Biggs. Fine, fair enough. But where is the histories, the family histories that say these 100,000 families were involved in the stonemason trade? Where is the histories? This is the Court Square in Maine, St. Memphis. Oh, excuse me. My eyes are going batty. Court Square in Main Street, Memphis, Tennessee. Squeeze me. Okay, so we got something weird over here. If you'll notice, they have photo manipulated this image, and they have painted out the side of this building for what reason? I don't know. It's not that, my point isn't why did they do it. I mean, it's hard to tell you. They've covered it up. So I don't know why they did it. But my point is that they did do it, that they could do it, and they were very good at it. And you got to understand, when you take how do I explain this? They would take images like this and they would copy them. They would reprint them on shitty paper with shitty ink, with shitty printing machines. And by the time it got to you in your newspaper, right, or your magazine or whatever to have it you were looking at, you're reading this and you're seeing this picture and it's labeled Court Square in Main Street, Memphis, Tennessee. And you're like, oh, isn't that wonderful? But the only thing you see here, because it's so faded out and blurry, you don't see that paint at all. It ain't there. Not to mention the fact they had a clever little trick where they would paint the pictures and the painters would know to cover that up. And so you would never see it. So the only way you see these things is to look at the original glass paint negatives in high resolution, which is what we do here. This is our jam. And there's an ether antenna there. And you got some ether finials up here that, are basically, huge steel butterflies or sunflowers with wings. Butterflies. What am I talking about? And what the hell is that? What is that? It's sucking up ether. Free energy, baby. But what's really going to chap your ass is when you find out that they're not only still collecting free energy, they're charging you for it. We've been paying for it all along. They've been sucking it up and charging us all along. There's Fred, in case you need Fred. And there's a Mudflood drop-in, in case you need that. There's another Mudflood drop-in right there, in case you need that. Diamond symbology, in case you need that. And it's just going to keep going. And we got portholes here. Check that out. That's interesting. Not even sure what the hell that is. Diamond symbology. This is the diamond is a symbol. I believe it's an important symbol. I do not have a confirmation of what I believe it is. I have heard it stated. Don't know if I would agree, but I have heard it stated that it is representative of energy. Could be, but I don't know. Something to think about. Yeah. Excuse me. There's Fred. Do. It's like a water fountain there. Pretty wild looking thing. And we got Cushman House Pototski. Hope I pronounced that wrong. And we got an arc light up here. And that is I just love the beauty of the foam poles that we can do. We really nail foam poles. Yeah. So we got the keep off grass sign, which is always interesting to me. And I just love how we can build these beautiful structures, but damn if we can build a road. No siree. We got Mudflood windows down there underneath the porch, and then Mudflood, drop in. Mudflood windows with a Mudflood drop in. Mudflood drop in means it's got stairs that go down to a door, just in case you hadn't figured out my crazy ass way of saying things. We got a deer in the front of the store for some odd reason. You see some weird stuff in these photos. I mean, absolute some of the weirdest stuff. Some of the things they would climb on. Stoneball finial. I-895. Excuse me. Can't quit yawning. I'm tired. At their antenna. Been a long day. You should have seen me up on top of that ladder today. Hanging off the damn ladder 2 stories up in there with a damn power washer trying to damn clean this thing. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay, we got ether antenna up there with a star on it, which is interesting. Random. I like that roofing there. That's really cool how they do those. These are really just neat to me. I just find these the neatest damn. How in the hell did they make those so repetitively with no power tools over and over and over again? I mean, that is wood, y'all. That is wood. I don't know how they did it. That's creepy looking. That is really kind of creepy looking. I believe this represents the Taurus field. That's a really nice little place. This is Detroit Boat Club, Belle Isle Park. And we've got a bunch of sailboats out here. I used to live for a short period of time on a peninsula, and my front yard was the Neuse River. My side yard was a canal, and my front yard was a boat marina, and there was sailboats a lot like this that came in, and bigger ones that came in and out all day long. It was just really cool. A neat thing. And this is something that I kind of question here. You see this a lot. This double flagpole. You'll have a mast strapped to a mast. And why they did that, I'm a little bit sketchy on. We got they've painted out this flag here. Why? I don't know. This would be a wind catcher up here. They've painted out this sailboat as well. Why? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's just a mystery to science. I don't know. I just don't know. This is Dewey Arch, New York, New York. Because, well, we need something like that for some reason. Check out these photographers. A lot of photographers. And the guys taking these pictures were considered rock stars in their day for photographers. So you see these people looking at them. They're looking at them out of respect. They were well respected. Check out these lights right here. Look at homeboy up here sitting up on this ladder. If he's the lighter. Got a little ball up here. It's interesting. Got horseshit narrative there. I don't know what's going on there. Good grief. Look at those lights. 1898. Lower leap of control. Eagle representing the Phoenix. 1776. I'm starting to really look at the time frame around 1776 being quite possibly the last time that there was a reset. Last time they pushed the little reset button. Check out these Taurus fields, stoneball finials. To the glory of the American Navy and the greeting to our Admiral, a grateful city, relying on their valor, has built this arch. And you got some Roman numerals if anybody would like to translate. And I will look later. Some people know, and I should know these things, but you know, I'm not a numbers person. I don't know what it is. I'm like, now you want me to count money, I'll count your money, no problem. You just let me know you want me to count your money, no problem. Count my money, count your money, count money. I don't mind counting money. I ain't got no problem with money. I ain't got it. It's just that, like, when it comes to math, like, it's like I don't do math. It just pisses me off. I've never have liked math. I failed algebra 4 times. Finally, they let me slide through, but I do not do math. Math just rattles around in my head. Can't stand mathematics. It's just not my thing. That's why I don't do Roman numerals. I know that's pathetic, but that's okay. I'm going to take my patheticness and enjoy my life. That's pretty cool. Got Laurel Lethal Control. Got a ship. Got Fred's. Look at Freddy, so cute. Got horseshit narrative statues. So I think they added things. I don't think that everything is like we see it all as one thing. I don't think it's one thing. Like, this was added, I think. And this was added. I don't think these are, what are these dudes kissing? What's up with that? All right. Get your freak on. And Poseidon. I mean, Eagle representing the Phoenix. So I think they could add things. I don't think everything we see was original, you know. I could be wrong. I don't know. That's just where I'm at. I could change my mind later. I don't know. See, this guy's looking at these guys are looking at this camera because these guys taking these pictures. I'm telling you, they were rock stars. They were the rock stars of the photographic. They were photographer rock stars at the time. I mean, as you can tell, I mean, look at their work. I mean, come on. But they were world renowned for their photography, big time. Penis Cat Boltzmann. Lady photographers. There were very few lady photographers, but there was some very famous lady photographers. Bowler hats everywhere. All right, we got Demir Narragansett, Rhode Island. Probably just butchered that. That's okay. I'm okay with it. If you're okay with it, we got some kind of. I have no idea. Like, how is that held up? That don't even look structural. Like, it's not a keystone. What is that? Like, maybe it's got structure underneath it, and these are mortared to it or something. I don't know. That can't be done with an arched keystone, can it? I don't know. What do I know? Damn. Look at that ether finial right there. Shiny little thing. That's just weird. There's one of those lamps I was telling you about. Oh, look at that little dragon. That's cool. Dragon holding the light. That's cool. This is the kind of light I was talking about. I was trying to get my buddy to get for his front gate. He was like, no. Like, what? They're like $2,000. He's like, but they're ugly. I'm like, ugly? No, they're beautiful. He's a very modern kind of person. He likes modern things, which suck. Whatever. I tried. Sometimes my 2 cents goes somewhere. Sometimes it goes nowhere. And look at that. I've got a freaking windmill on top of this thing. That's crazy looking. Wow, that's wild. Wind catcher. That's wild. I don't even know what the hell's going on there. Engineering laboratory. U of M, Ann Arbor, Michigan. Mudflood winters. Ether fencing, ether finial. Dog toothing right there. This would be some sort of porthole. Even it doesn't have portholes, don't have to be round, y'all. Ether finial. And here's that weird one. I was talking about this last week where you have one that's shorter and one that's taller. And I was just wondering if maybe there was some sort of electrical reason for that. That's above my pay grade. Maybe somebody with electrical background could maybe chime in and make that make sense. Florida Lee, ether finial right there. Another ether finial, ether fencing. Dude hanging out the window. See a lot of that. We definitely built the bike rack. Definitely. Mudflood winters. No, we didn't build that. Me no think so. Ether finials back here and there. The chimney would have been part of the wind catcher. And these are part of the wind catcher. These little doodads here. Ether finial and ether fencing. Probably another ether finial up there. Yeah, I think. Give you a good look at that. See, these are wind catcher windows. You see how they open kind of weird? See, this one opens like a normal window, okay? It just opens from the side. But see how these open at an angle on a pivot? That's a wind catcher window. These are the ones that they would work in unison with the wind catcher, and they would There was something about the way where they were located. It's very interesting stuff. Something whited out on top of the building. Yeah, I saw that, but I don't know. Where was it? Right here. I don't know. It's hard to tell. You'll see stuff like this, and it could just be a smudge or something went wrong on the negative. I would say that this is just some sort of chemical mistake, and not somebody painting it out. I don't think that's what that is. I could be wrong, but I don't. This is entrance gate, Cornell University. Got a random little stone sticking up, but I mean, they nail the gate, but the road is what really sets my whistle going. I really like that road. That road is straight gangster. But this is just wow. Stoneball finials. Now that is a great example of photo manipulation right there. You got a tree branch sticking out, and for some reason they paint the tree branch part of it. They did the same thing here. Why? I don't know. Kind of weird. I don't know. Why do they do these things? I don't know. Got your fleur-de-lis, which I believe represents the flat earth. I believe it is also a flat earth asterisk because you have your vertical, your horizontal, and your torus field. I believe that is a representation of the flat earth. And yes, I'm a flat earther. Yes. Proud of it. Absolutely. 100%. Once you go flat, you don't go back. However you want to say it. I'll give you a close-up of that, all that. 1898 maybe. Kind of hard to read that though. Some weird stones just kind of randomly sitting there. Oh, look at that awning. My. I love a good awning. Entrance to the law school of Harvard. So I just thought this was just really pretty. I believe there's 2 pictures of this at different angles. Just the masonry work here is just phenomenal. Looks like a dragon right there to me. And it looks like he might be eating on some other animal. Hard to tell. Maybe it's another dragon. I'm not sure. I love how it's got the checkerboard and the different colors of stone back and forth. Just incredible. Just breathtaking. Got your flat earth asterisks here in a flower. Like I said, you'll see it everywhere. You'll see it over and over and over again. Once you see it, and see it first, you'll say, "Oh, Biggs, you're crazy." Next, you'll be like, "Would you shut up with that flat earth asterisk?" Next thing, you'll be like, "Damn, that flat earth asterisk! I keep seeing it everywhere. It'll drive you nuts." You'll get it one of these days if you just keep looking for it. Don't believe me. Don't believe me. Just look. You're gonna start seeing it everywhere. Okay, number one. Number two, once you start seeing it everywhere, you're going to start questioning, well, why am I seeing it everywhere? Why are they using this symbol over and over and over and over and over? It's okay. It's an okay symbol. I mean, this is pretty, but most of the time it's the real simple, just 8-point asterisks. I call it 8-point asterisks because literally, if you look up an 8-point asterisk, that's an 8-point asterisk. But I believe it's a symbol. You see that old glass, how it's got that oily look to it. This writing written in there. Shall shew the way. wherein they must, can't read the rest of it. That little torus fields there. This is another view of the same location. Let lock in here. Bada bing, bada boom. Look at the compass there and there. Look at that Masonic business. Celtic knot, maybe? Yeah. Let's see. What is it? Okay, we got the dragon. That's the dragon biting its own ass, isn't it? All right. Well, that's different. Oh, look at these double-headed eagles. Wow, I couldn't see that in the last picture. Wait a minute. Go back. Where was that at? Wait a minute. Let it lock in. Is it locked in? Oh, you just couldn't see it in that picture. That's what's nice about these different angles. You can see different things. That's one thing I learned. At first, when I started looking at these pictures, that's another reason I want to go back and go through these pictures again, is because I realized that, like, I would grab, there'd be two pictures and they'd look almost identical, and I'd be like, I would just grab one of them. But then I realized later on, because, eventually you pull your head out of your ass, I realized that the pictures were different, or different angles, or they were different. Look at the little heads in there. I mean, what the hell, man? Who the hell's... Seriously, like, where is the guy or gal? But let's be honest, back then it was guys. Where's the guy that carved these little... He's like, yeah, my great grandpappy is the guy that painted or chiseled in the little heads on the entrance to the law school at Harvard. Where's that guy at? Where's the guy that claims that? Everybody claims, oh, my George Washington is my ancestor. But where's the guy that claims that he put the heads and the little eagles on the door at Harvard? Where's that guy? That's the guy I want to find. Where's he at? Where? There's got to be somewhere. Looks like a dragon right there. Maybe. I mean, I think it's a dragon. Want to play checkers? One of the first things I learned when I woke up 17 and a half years ago, and I can't really explain it any further than tell you what I was told, was that anytime that you see a checkerboard, pay attention. And so every time I see a checkerboard, I pay attention. Now, that could be interpreted a lot of different ways and could go different angles on that, but that was one of the first things that I remember. One of the first esoteric teachings that I learned was, anytime you see a checkerboard, pay attention. That there's something there that you're supposed to learn. This is the Erie Canal in Salina Street, Syracuse, New York. And of course, Fred is here. Fred does, what Fred does. Fred brought all this here. Fred did. Freddie, he just walked it right on in. Trotted it right on down the road. He even brought in this phone pole right here. That's perfect. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. That is a beautiful phone pole. It gets no better. We nail phone poles. At the finial. At the finial right there. It's really hard to see. I don't know if you guys can see that. Guys, ladies and gents, at their finial. Portholes at their antenna. Clock with 4 1s for the Mandela affected. When I was growing up, Gen X, it was 1V, y'all. I'm telling you, when they taught, they did teach us basic Roman numerals But one of the one like the the 1 through 10 kind of thing, what the was ingrained in us, like it was like that was important for that, they wanted us to know that. And I am telling you right here and now, it was 1B, and it was never 4 1s, and it was never 4 1s until I woke up to Mudflood and people started and Mandela effect, and people started talking about 4 1s on the Mandela effect clocks, and I'm like, y'all crazy. So I started looking for it, and I'm seeing less and less 1Vs now. And I don't have an explanation for it, because I'm telling you right now, it was always 1B. Before I woke up, I'm telling you, it was 1V. Everything. I never saw 4 1s. I don't ever remember seeing 4 1s. And I would have noticed that because it's 1V. I mean, I don't know. I'm just telling you. Something's weird there. It's a weird little doodad. There's another one over here. I'm not sure what that is. Kind of reminds me of a hell cannon, if you know what that is. Cosmopolitan Building Loan Association. Got our beer. 99 kegs of beer on the wall. 99 kegs of beer. For takes one down, passes around. 98 kegs of beer on the wall. Fred right there. Fred is the horse to build America. I'm telling you, show me a donkey. Show me the donkey. Where's the donkey? I don't see a damn donkey nowhere. Not one. I ain't seen a donkey. I'm looking for a donkey. I'm continually on my lookout for a donkey. But if you want Fred is here for free. Fred's always been free. Fred will always be free on this channel. Guaranteed. Flower beds in Lincoln Park, Chicago. And let it lock in. Got young lady here blowing a booger. Got Mammy. Got some symbology there. Not sure what that is. Got arc lights here. Nice glass garden. That is really cool. Glass was very hard to make back then. Look at that big old, probably a steam plant chimney there. Little, very pretty. Very, very pretty. And we got Forest Hill Cemetery, Boston Bell Tower. Because Boston, needs this. And this is just odd. I don't even know, like, what's going on here. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let's put on our Meltology caps, y'all. We'll do this for, where's Haha? Haha, we're going to do this for you. Well, this is going to be a melted stone building right here. It is melted. This X is factored. And this did not get, excuse me. This did get X factored, just as did a different way. And this balloon rock that stayed perfectly true and level. And it balloon rocked, and some of it got cooked more than others. See, this got cooked more than this, and it's still level and true. And it turned into coins on one side and coins on the other side. But in the middle, that red brick turned into balloon rock. Yes, I'm fucking with you. And we got a big old wind catcher looking thing here. Got Taurus fields, ether finial, north, south, east, west. Little ether antenna right there. A little ether finial right there, picking up that etheric energy. So cool. I love it. I do have fun doing this, y'all. Group of Lackawanna freight engines. Lackawanna. Say that real fast. Lackawanna. Like, sounds like that. I think I can. And we got the Mr. Train Man here. He's got his little grease gun, little oil can. He's old Tin Man. People like these old trains. I'm gonna have lots of trains coming. That's a half a flat Earth asterisk. Got a ether antenna there, arc light. portholes up there, arch windows, ether finial, ether fencing, ether antenna, ether antenna, ether antenna, ether antenna. Ether antenna, ether antenna, ether antenna, ether antenna. What else we got? What else? Arc light, ether finials back there. More choo-choos, choo-choo, choo-choo. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I think these are old world. And this is just my opinion, y'all. This is my opinion. Don't hold it to now. I believe these are old world. These old locomotives, these old choo-choos. I think the old ones, the steam ones, the ones that ran on coal and wood, and I think they're old world. I think they're straight out of the old world. I think we found these as well. That's my opinion. Opinions is like tail holes. This is Harbor Entrance of Illinois Steelworks, South Chicago. Got a big old boat here that does something. I don't know. It's the industry. Good grief. I mean, just nastiness. See, I don't think the old world did this. I think this is our horse shit. I think we decided to do something with it that we shouldn't do. I don't know. It's just an opinion. Ether finial up there and arch windows. Hope you guys are having a good time, guys and gals. I believe we made that right there. Anything that's like this wood construction, very simple construction, I think we did. Arched windows, ether fencing with ether finials, big stone brick chimney, probably for steam plant. Ether finial. What is that? Like, I have no idea. That's odd. I don't know. That's a very weird looking doodad. This is High Bridge from East End, New York. That's a weird. Could be that's ether finial, I think. Look at that. That's a wild looking light. Okay. Got a little choo-choo down here. Choo-choo. Another choo-choo. I believe these bridges were already here. When they're full stone like this, I believe they were already here. Now, Meltologists will tell you that this is all red brick that's been cooked out, and this is balloon rock. This is also red brick, but this is balloon rock, and this is just cooked out. And then they'll tell me I just don't get it. No, I don't get that. No, I don't. No, you're right. That we agree on. 100%. Diamond symbology. And that's an interesting way to cap a chimney. I don't know what's going on there. Got a bunch of arches going up there. Wind catcher. Ether finial with a flat earth asterisk. Almost looks like the chaos symbol. Interesting. Got another ether finial up here. A big old porthole. Maybe a cymatic window, porthole, another chimney, another steeple up there. One of these old lights. Really cool. All right. We got Hotel Cadillac and Washington Boulevard, Detroit, Michigan. Oh, and this is an interesting one. Very interesting. This has been photo manipulated, if you can't tell already. Very heavily photo manipulated. They've completely taken out the right quadrant of the the image. Starting here, they've scraped the bottom of the picture here. You can see trees cut off. You can see a post up, like a phone pole cut off, and then it goes straight up here, up this tree, around the tree, kind of in it, and then they jaggy into it, and then they painted some of it. This has been painted. Right there, you can see the paint strokes. There's a electrical line right here that they've tried to paint out, and there's paint strokes there, all through there. There's an electrical line going through there. You see they've tried to paint it out. Ether finial there. I don't know why they did that. Fred right there. Ether finial up there. I'm not sure why they would do that. I don't know what the... It's very, very odd. I mean, you know, I don't know. Hotel Crossman, Thousand Allens, excuse me. And we got some ladies in uniform with a little lady in uniform, lady in training uniform. And we got sidewalks, so you know we can build a sidewalk now. We definitely can build a sidewalk. Homeboy is just, I mean, he is the epitome of chilling. That dude is chillaxing. He's got it going on. Ladies in uniform. That's a private dock. Y'all need to get off our private dock. And they're friends. Oh, okay. They're probably the friends. Alrighty. What else we got? I like this kind of roof where it has different designs in it. They took a lot of that away. A lot of it went away because a lot of times people couldn't afford to actually redo the roofs the way they were. Poor hole windows. So they would just do a normal roof on them, and they would lose that beauty, the old world tiled beauty of the roofing that was done. I mean, just can you imagine? Just imagine being hanging off this roof trying to do this pattern up there without, you know, falling and breaking your neck. Ether finials and fencing and ether antenna right there. And there's another one with, you know, you got to have your flags on them because, you know, why not? Why not have a billion flags? But what's more important, I just love the fact that we have all these antennas with nothing on them. That's what's even more important, more telling. And these are interesting. Look at this. We got lights hanging down with flower pots hanging below the lights. Now, how cool. Now, I'd like to have one of those. I don't know what the hell I'd do with it, but I think that would be really cool to have. And look at, they got different colored. They got a black one, then a white one, a black one, then a white one, or a dark one. I don't know if they were black, but that's really cool. I've never seen that. That's really cool. Like I said, these you know, these are really the first time I'm getting good looks at these pictures. So you know, my reactions to these things are genuine. So any craziness that ensues is, you know, pretty genuine there. Hotel English and Army Navy soldiers and sailors monument in Indianapolis. And that's over here to the left, in case you were wondering what the hell I'm talking about. There's Phoenician Wave. Porthole, ether fencing. Lines going up to the top here to that ether antenna. Got a dude raising a flag here. Got an ether antenna there. Ether antenna there. And this is interesting. They've got the forms in place to do the arch. Very interesting. I think just as you would expect that whenever the reset happened, that there were buildings that were in the middle of construction. Now, this could be an example of that, where they found this building, it wasn't finished, and they just come in and finish it off. And that's what they're in the process of doing here, is finishing it off. That's why you have, you can clearly tell it's got the old world look, but it's clearly not finished also. So, yeah. I mean, we've always got construction. Oh, man. Really makes my day when I see a nice, pretty awning. And Fred is always on the job. Fred. Excuse me, Fred. Fred, sir. Excuse me. Mr. Horse, could you please point me in the way of the donkey? Please. No, you don't know any donkeys. Oh, you know a jackass. No, I'm looking for a donkey. Thank you. Carry on. Got a barber pole. That's interesting. You got that light right there. That's really cool. Look at that stained glass. That's pretty. Hotel English. Looking, see what we find. Some kind of little heads in these things. Little flowers. Oh, right here. See this contraption here? You got an arc light, and it comes down on this pole, and then it's got this little doohickey here, and then it'll have this little line going here. Okay, see that little pulley there? And that'll go down here to a little doodad, right? And you got this little line right here. Now that we've learned all that, what this does is, these arc lights, they didn't last very long. Okay, they're a piece of shit. So what they would do is they would come in here and they would untie this, and this doodad would then drop down to street level, and the guy would change the light bulb out, and then he'd go back over here and pull the pulley back up, and it would raise it back up. And that's how they would change it out. There's a niche with no statue in it again. So that's what that is. And this is the monument that's to the left of that picture we were just looking at. Of course, this is an obelisk that goes straight up in the air to like heaven, basically. And just look at that ship coming out of that obelisk, which is really very interesting. This ship coming out of an obelisk thing is a thing, and I don't know really what it means. Probably got something to do with the Phoenicians, but it's very interesting. You see it quite often. Eagle represent the phoenix, unscrubbed cartouche. And why do we have a barrel that is not round? That's weird. And what the hell is that? There's that weird shield. I think a lot of this is horseshit narrative. Anything with the Civil War on it, I think it's horseshit narrative. I'm sorry, I'm just past the Civil War thing. Absolute horseshit. Dude is like on point right there. What a just amazing structure. Look at these arc lights. Wow. Incredible. I don't even know what kind of energy that thing's bringing in, but it's got to be some kind of massiveness. We just don't build stuff like that anymore. Where is the guy that built these lights. The great grandpappy, the nephew, the great descendant of the guy that built these lights. Where's that guy? Where's the guys like my great grandpappy built the lights that were around the obelisk in downtown Indianapolis? He built that shit with his own bare hands, with his blood, sweat, and tears. Where's that guy or gal? Where? Where are they at? Where are these descendants? Hotel. I don't know if I can even see that right now. Pfister, Milwaukee. I butchered that. I'm so sorry. My eyes are going like cross-eyed now at this point. It's been a long day. That's all right. We're going for it today. Why not? Why not? I was late. So I'll give you what you want. Give the people what they want when you're late. You owe it to them. You're my tribe, y'all. So I try to treat y'all as well as I can. At the antenna, very Moorish looking. Yes, Moors were in America prior to Christopher Columbus setting his fat ass over here. They were hanging out, doing their thing, doing the Moor thing. And then we enslaved them and then called them slaves. But they were indentured servants who later won their freedom. And what we call the actual slaves from Africa is a whole different cover up. That's a whole different another monkey altogether. I hat tip to Dane Calloway on that one. They've done some photo manipulating right here. You see that marking there? There's a person here, but they did some manipulation there to try to hide that person there. Another person there. There's Fred right there doing what Fred does. What the hell happened there? Don't do that. No. We're trying to watch. Look at this picture. Arc light. So pretty. It's just dumbfounding. Look at these stairs we made. It's just dumbfounding. Got a Mudflood drop in right here. See the stair rail there? Hotel Vyndham, Boston. Vyndham. Let's see. I got Mudflood windows and doors down here. A little porthole there. Etheric lights. They changed them into different. At one point they probably would have changed them in the gas light. Another point they would change them in the electric. But they started off as etheric lights, I believe. More Mudflood drop ins there. Mudflood windows. Interesting symbology there. Hope you all are doing well tonight. Enjoying going through these. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. And got Mudflood windows. Mudflood windows down here. Another gas light there. Lots of ivy. Got etheric finials right there and there. Etheric finials and fencing. Wind catcher, and then you got a bell. ether finial up there, ether finial, ether fencing, portholes, ether finials and fencing and antennas, ether finials, ether fencing. You're starting to see a theme here, ether this and ether that. Yep. Diamond symbology. It's an interesting symbol there. It's very interesting. I don't know. Square and compass, but it's more to it. I don't know. Pyramid. I don't know. Imperial Hotel, Potocki. We got a great sidewalk here. That's a perfect sidewalk. That's how I build sidewalks, definitely. He's just chillaxing. This is a weird little thing, dome thing, doodad with a ether antenna up top. Little ether finial there for you in case you need that. Another ether finial. Interesting. We got in the caves, Point Ox, Baroques, Michigan. Probably butchered that. That's okay. And he is just kind of out for a stroll. And, it's put on a Meltology cap. Meltologist will tell you this is a melted building where the bricks have turned into stone. So let's make sure we give the Meltologist a shout out. Jackasses. In the Lachine Rapids, butchered that, St. Lawrence River. So we've got a steam paddle wheel boat. Not sure what that is. Tree, maybe? Look at this dude just chilling out on the front. That's crazy. Got some photo manipulation here. That's kind of interesting. I got an ether antenna right there. Got some serious rapids going here. But that was a heck of a ride. But that was fun. J. Krause Hall, Syracuse University. Yeah, this looks like a telescope there. Not sure what that is. Not sure what that is either. Give me. This very well could be. I don't know. Maybe not. I thought it was maybe Vanilla Sky, but I'm not sure because I could see. Like, look at this crappy little staircase here thing. Obviously we made that, and whenever I see dirt like this up against a building, it really makes me want to dig. You got Mudflood windows. That also makes me want to dig. And then look at the size of those doors right there. Really? Come on. And this is where they would bring the carriages in so they could get out without stepping in the mud and stuff. See that wind catcher window right there, how it opens, and look at the beautiful decorations in that stained glass there. Look at these cymatics. Very cool. It's got the Moorish look to it. Wind catcher at their finial. Wind catcher. And then this would be the big wind catcher here. And this would be the outputs. At their finial. Sucking up that juice. Get the juicy juice. Got the niche with no statues in them. We've added a name to it, looks like. Got an arc light, which is on a perfect pole, because we can build poles now. We build poles like nobody's business. That and awnings. We really got awnings. And I like that tower a lot. That turret right there, that's just so cool. Overall, this is a very nice looking building. I really like that. Lafayette Square, Buffalo, New York. And we got, I'll let lock in. Hold on. Pavement light right there. Lady in uniform. More pavement light. Some very interesting. That's almost 3 different styles of pavement light. More pavement light there. Yeah, these are this is actually a pretty rare thing right here. This one here and this one here. We'll look at this one here. This is pavement light, y'all. But they were very rare because they were so big that they broke easy. And so they got rid of these pretty quick. These were one of the original forms of pavement light. Before there was a couple versions they made that didn't work so well, and this was one of them. You got coal hole cover here with flat earth asterisks on it. Ah, you crazy thing. Another coal hole there, flat earth asterisks. Another one there. Check out that old bike. That thing just looks like it's just going to fall apart. And this is a trap door, so this is all an areaway. That's what they call underneath these sidewalks. They call it an areaway. And I mean, the awnings here are bar none, the best. Look at this beautiful tourist fields. Buffalo German Insurance Company. Denny and Field. And there is another flat earth asterisk in the form of a flower. It's not always just lines. That's something I want to stress. It's in all kinds of different forms. So you have to be, on your A game, and you'll see it. It's not always going to jump out at you as the form that you would that we consider a straight flat earth asterisk. You got a mudflood drop in here where you got the stairs going down, little fleur-de-lis on there. Got boater hat man chilling, ladies in uniform. And she is just in charge. I don't know what she does, but her job is to be in charge of something. She is like seriously meaning business, no doubt, no question. Going on up to the sky to find a Tartarian griffin in the sky. Moving on up to the Tartarian griffins that are across the top of this building. Oh my. And we got a clock over here. Looks like could be 4 1s. Hard to tell on that one though. That building is phenomenal. Moving vans. And this is another picture of that same building. Let it lock in. We got the pavement light there, and there. And there's that mudflood drop in. There's Fred. The mudflood drop in right there. And that would be that's a trap door, so that would go down into the basement. Right there. Vaudeville. Got some car action here. Trolleys. That's pretty cool. $0.10 vaudeville, arch windows, tourist fields right there. Frisian cap. That's a very important symbol. Oh, look at him. Awnings. Oh, I love a good droopy awning. Amazing. Portholes, Phoenician shells. Other fencing. More ether fencing up here. Ether finials. And got the Tartarian lions. Or griffins, excuse me. I'm about whooped, y'all. Y'all done whooped my ass tonight. I'm just telling you now. Y'all got to take it easy on old bees. Look at that. I mean, that's just perfect griffins. It's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Got Malcolm and El Morano, Havana, Cuba. Architectural urn. Boater hats everywhere. And I think they don't want you to see Cuba. I think that's why they had their little spat. I think Cuba's just got some stuff going on that we just aren't, don't need to be seeing that stuff. And look at these big ass cannons that I don't think are cannons. Up here on this, Star Fort. So that's interesting. Of course, I got Fred in Cuba too. Fred is the horse that built Cuba as well. And Star Fort over here, it looks like. Yeah, big tall ship. Big old Star Fort back there. Don't know what Star Forts were, but they were very interesting. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Got Fred down there. You can see these coal hole covers. That means there's an area away from the building all the way to the edge of the curve. It means it's hollow underneath, in layman's terms. More coal hole covers here, so it means the airway, all that's open. The coal hole cover there, so it's open there. Now, see, you won't see these things today because the coal hole covers were taken out. They didn't need them, so they covered them over. So the coal hole covers went away. So did the pavement light. Most of the pavement lights are gone now. Even people are like, oh, we have pavement lights in my city. Yeah, you might. You might have them here and there. Yes. They're very few. I would say 90% of the pavement lights are gone. There was so many pavement lights. But here's what's really weird is I have very, very few, less than a handful of images of pavement lights being installed. Hey, baby, did you wake up from your nap? You want to get hollery? You got coal hole covers. Just wait. We're gonna finish here soon. Got hush it. Ain't got time for it. Fred here got coal hole covers here. That means all this is hollow underneath here. Got coal hole. Would you hush? Just zip it, Skippy. And you got a little drop in here. Very interesting. Look at that stonework there, arches. Well, just hold on. Got a trunking tower here for the communications. That'll be for the stuff like telegraph. Hey, I know. You done told me. My dog talks to me, y'all. In case you didn't know. You got ether fencing up here. This would be the wind catcher. Gonna have to hurry here because he's getting sparky. He goes in there and he takes his nap. He gets in there and goes to snoring, and then he wakes up out of nowhere and then comes in here and hoots and hollers and hoots, talking about I gotta go patrol. Ah, and he just goes absolutely nutty dog. Parliament Buildings, Ottawa, and this is weird. I'm not sure, but it's like the guy's head got into the picture somehow, but I'm not sure. It's very weird. And it's just a weird little wall there. It's very strange there. Look at that ether finial right there. I'm gonna blast through this, y'all. Ether fencing and finials, poreholes. Incredible. 4 1s on the clock. Look at this sucker, ether antenna. Ether finial. These are wind catchers. These old chimneys were part of the wind catcher system. Ether finials. Fireplaces weren't chimneys, y'all. Look at this ether finial. That's complicated. Ether finials all over this thing. Lots of tech on here. They were juicing it up here. Lots going on here. Crazy windows at ground level for whatever reason you would do that. Random wood sitting around. Beautiful arc, beautiful lights everywhere. Just, oh my goodness. What an incredible spot. That is really cool. But that is going to do it for tonight. I know we went long tonight. I appreciate everyone hanging out tonight. Sorry I was late, but good things come to those that wait. Hey Morgan, how you doing? And hello Samuel. And hey, question and answers. I've seen you before, definitely. And hey GT, still hanging there. And I appreciate everyone for hanging out tonight. And we will try to be back next week with more high resolution Mudflood goodie action. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you for spending time with me. And please share my channel with other people. That's basically the only way I get seen now. YouTube does not share me. So the only way that I can get my channel seen is through you all sharing. And I'd appreciate that. So that's the if you want to do something to help what I'm doing here, that helps. So I appreciate each and every one of you, and thank you for your time. And I will see you guys shortly and soon. And have a good one. Love, Beags.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
No. a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma. Don't you get it?
Say woof again! Say woof again!
I've got one that can see.
Welcome to the underground.
This is my kung fu, and it is strong.
See you later.